Saying I have some sort of slow connection. That was weird. Hey, Hector. I did. Hopefully you did as well. Hey, girl. Told you I'd tag you, so I went ahead and did that, but now I'm waiting for... Oh, there's Caleb. We're about to see if my screen shows you on my device versus just on my computer. I'm on time tonight. Thank you, Sean. Jab. Just jab. It's fine.
Hello.
There's trouble.
Hey, I love Sean. He calls out the real. Yeah, you're on time today. You are the least timely person I've ever met in my life. You're organized. You're very detailed, but on time? No. Thank you, Sean.
How can I be the glue that keeps us together? Like, I don't even. We're screwed if that's the case.
Oh, trust me. I said April Fools. That was not heartfelt at all. Besides the April Fools.
Seriously, yeah, you man. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Okay.
You're my dog.
Let's see here. Okay.
Bullies, what's going on, man? When people like automatically assume, and I just did it, that it's a man or a woman, and sit there and say, it's like, I'm sorry if I was wrong. Like, for gender you are, it doesn't matter. Like, how are you doing tonight?
No.
And then I just thought,
oh, don't be like that, Joe. I hope not.
Hector, what's up, man? See, I can definitely say, I know Hector's a man, so I can say, what's up, man? Oh, how are y'all doing today?
Doing good. I'm tired, but I'm good. Been doing a lot of stuff.
Higginson says, I am sent a request. Yeah, that's Michael. That's Michael.
Okay, so Michael, hop out and hop back in. It sent me the request, and the moment I accepted it, it crapped out and then told me I couldn't add you. So you might need to hop out and hop back in.
Did you unblock him?
Stop talking that shit.
Exactly. That's why I was wondering.
Who about to get blocked? You're like, you haven't been blocked, sir.
Oh, man.
Yes, shit. Whatever. It's fine. Let's see here. Where- I'm sent. I love that. Just, I'm sent a request.
Yes, I am sent. Like that's our
iTunes.
special guest. That's our special guest, everyone. Michael Higgins.
Oh my God.
There he
We truly
is.
love you, Big Dog. We truly love you.
I'm sent request.
I'm sent request. You're like, I am sent request.
But I am sent. He
I
sent
am
it.
Groot. And Adams, I am late. So I guess we're just kind of.
Yeah. Well, I am Caleb, by the way. Just so
Carl.
I don't know.
I thought it was Carl. All this time I thought it was Carl.
Damn you,
It's
Michael.
Carl.
Hey,
Oh, he's definitely Carl.
that
I think
was
it
fun
became
the other night,
official
wasn't it?
when
Yesterday?
Hannah did it. Yeah, it became official when Hannah
Hey,
did
Oh
it.
my God.
We had
Yeah, she said like Hannah is like the mom. Like she's such a motherly figure to everyone that she comes about.
It's
So at
so
the show in
painfully sweet.
Jacksonville, she said something to Nikki, and Nikki was right next to me. So I'm like, "Yeah, Hannah, I got your back. Let's whoop her ass." And then she's like, "Okay, Carl." I was like, "Hannah, I had your back. I had your back."
what happened?
Oh, I don't know.
We had fun last night, didn't we?
Yeah, we did, man. I appreciate that. I really do. That
You
was cool.
jumped off. We were waiting on you backstage. They have, on StreamYard, there's like a backstage.
Hey, you got to tell me the rules for me to follow them.
I know. I know. I was like, "Where's Caleb at?" And they're like, "He's already gone, man." He's like, I was like, "Dang, I guess he didn't know." But I didn't know the show was ending that quick. And he's like, "All right, we're signing off." And I was like, "Dang."
Yeah. Hey, that was cool though. On QBN last night. So I was actually tagged in it by Adam. Adam put Teddy
Yeah.
Bear in it for East Coast versus West Coast, and I was able to squeeze YOLO in it too. So then it came to the finals, and it was YOLO versus Teddy Bear.
Who won? Wait a minute. Who won?
I'm almost certain Teddy Bear won. Teddy Bear won, right, Michael?
You know what? I don't know.
I think it was Teddy Bear, but it was
They were
cool
Teddy
that
Bear?
it was
It
two
may
of
have been
our
Teddy.
dogs that were going head to head.
Let me see. I can look real quick. Hold on.
Okay, Sean said YOLO won. Okay,
Ah.
Adam said YOLO won.
Hmm.
So YOLO won. But it was like at that point I was like, it's a win-win. This is awesome. Then Roll sent me a request like to get on there. So I was like, let me get on. So I wasn't really watching the competition. But yeah, YOLO beat Teddy Bear. By 2%. Oh, it was 51-49. Sean, thank you. Sean's coming with the stats. That's what's 51-49. Wow.
That's tight, dude.
Hey, Michael. Hey, you're muted.
Wait till we go back next week and it's North and South, and Alabama Bully Pride Production comes back in because it's really the South anyway.
I'll put Levi in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
It's like,
Bruce,
hey, it
what's
ain't
up,
my
man?
fault y'all put me in on the East Coast. I wasn't supposed to be there.
Hey. I was tagged in. I was just tagged in. But Michael was showing so much love last night.
Yeah.
Raul, love you, brother, but you were going for West Coast last night.
Yeah.
I understand the dynamic of it, but damn you. All respect.
He's like, wait a minute. I'm really East Coast on the cool. I'm just on the West tonight. I'm like, hey, well then tonight
Yeah.
you are the enemy, my friend.
Exactly.
Tonight you are the enemy. Yep.
Yeah, it was fun though.
Amanda,
I tell you
are
what,
you getting Angel's request?
It showed up. I accepted it, and then it acted like it was adding him, and then it just disappeared altogether. So I'm wondering if he needs to hop out and then hop back in, because I'm showing that I've already invited him.
All right, Angel. Hey, get out of Facebook altogether. Get back in so we can bring you on. And while you're doing that, I want to send a message real quick too. Hey, Stuart Flags. He's got a show coming up. Pull up or shut up. May 24th in Kentucky. Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to start having them on before the live, 10, 15 minutes so we can really promote the live or promote his show. We are actually the fun show hosts, our fun show judges, the quadcast we call ourselves. And that is the four of us. Michael Higginson out of Arkansas, Amanda Jean Nixon out of Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. We got Bruce Slang Jr. out of like McIntosh, Alabama, like a small town, like on the border of Alabama and Mississippi. And then my name is Caleb Weddle, Bully Pride Productions, Bruton, Alabama, South Alabama. We will be the fun show judges. But Stuart Flagg is hosting the show with Doug Schaffner and Sean Fredericks, taking place on May 24th. Hey, y'all be there. A lot of XLs coming out. Angel, perfect time, man.
There we
Perfect
go.
time.
They're
I was trying to send a
like,
request.
hey, you want to add this guy or what? I'm like, yes.
Hey, Angel, my guy, what's up, man?
What's going on, big dog? How you guys doing this evening?
Hey, man, chilling, man.
You.
Hey,
How you been?
been good, working. I know I had told Amanda I wasn't going to take any clients after 8 o'clock, but I had a client that he got out of work late, so we had to help him out with one last breeding. So, yeah.
That was
Angel
definitely
never stops. He never, ever stops.
We
I love
can't,
it.
dude. We got a breed to save.
Exactly.
Yep.
I love
Oh
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But Angel, we're already 10 minutes late. Take it away, my man. Introduce yourself.
So, my name is Angel. I'm out of Houston, Texas, representing B Unit Camp. I started the American Bully breed 8 years ago. Believe it or not, I didn't know much about the breed at the time. So I started with an exotic. I had Miyagi blood, yeah. And then jumped over to, funny story. I ended up going to a sanctioned show. I'm a very competitive guy. I like to compete, as you can tell. Yeah. So
I've seen it.
I went to a
Oh.
show. I took my boy, and the judges looked at me and said, "Bro, what are you doing?" So I went back home, did my research, and I fell in love with the lilac color. Actually, I was again fresh. So I found a dog named Louis V. Line Venom. I
Yes.
ended up I ended up getting one of his sons, which is Bane. He's about 6, turning 7 already. So we ran with that, and we've been nonstop with him. I'm on my third generation with B Unit, which is Deadpool. That boy right there, that's my pride and glory, man. Yeah, I gotta give a shout out to Deshaun Landrum and Chris Landrum for having J Prince, because that's who Deadpool's daddy is. But added what I was looking for in the breeding. So it, I don't, how should I put it? I'm not looking at the moment to create that stud. I'm in a moment where I'm trying to create something to the point when you see that dog, you can say that dog's from B Unit.
There
You know,
we go.
I'm
There we
trying
go.
to get a foundation and a consistency before I can even actually try to persuade myself that I'm a breeder. You know, most people want to scream on top of their lungs that they're breeders and only got one dog. To me, that's not how I was raised. I started the dog game when I was 8 years old. I used to
Man.
eat, I used to eat Old Roy kibble for breakfast. We had a bunch.
With
Yeah,
Wait,
no
there
wait,
it
water.
is,
wait,
bro.
wait, wait, wait.
With no
You
water. Very important.
you ate
so,
O'Roy?
so we had a pack of 15 dogs. My
Yeah.
auntie bred Rottweilers at the time. We had
Oh.
German and American Rottweilers. And with 15 dogs, bro, we never had to close our windows or close our doors, and times weren't as hot.
Ooh.
So
Yes, you did not.
ain't no one coming in the crib with 15 Rottweilers around the house.
Yeah.
So we had a container, and the dog food was there. And when they would hear us open up the dog food, the dogs would come up to the door, and we'd give them, me and my cousins, I grew up with my cousins, and they would get a kibble, and we would get a kibble, and they would get a kibble, and, so I grew up, I grew up around dogs, bro. We ran around with dogs all day. We've
Yeah, man.
we
Awesome.
after after it started becoming too much for my auntie to have Rottweilers, and we switched over to different breeds and whatnot. Chow Chows, Boxers, Bulldogs. Chow Chows were the worst. Chow Chows
Yeah.
were the worst, bro.
Chow's
Them
the
dogs are
Yeah.
crazy.
Chow's the only dog that ever bit me for no reason.
That's the only dog I think will bite you for no
I
reason.
questioned as to
I,
why
I,
dogs are
I
biting
had
you,
a
Mom.
chow when I was younger too.
hey, minding my own business, bit me right in my ass, man. I mean, got me good, bro. I mean, no reason at all, man. Got me, boy, got me.
And we had two males and one female.
Ooh,
So the males, we had to keep them separated. One was lion and the other one was grizzly.
good.
And Snow White was a female. We had a black one, a brown one, and a white one. Well, everybody wanted Snow White. Well, both of them wanted Snow White. So it was a constant battle between them, you know. And growing up with people who are around dogs, you learn your ways around it and learn how to separate dogs and put
Yeah.
the water hose down the throat and all that. Well, them dogs they bad, G. Them
Yeah,
boys are bad. When they
Yeah.
yeah,
get
they're
going to
bad.
it, it's really like grizzly bears just launching at each other nonstop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know,
they really get it on their mind. They do.
and,
Mm-hmm.
and there ain't nothing stopping them or persuading them to stop.
No.
It's go time.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
they
yeah.
worse than a firecracker.
They're waiting until someone's dead. Maybe not even then.
I'll tell you
They're
something I dealt with Chow's. I had somebody that I know that bred them quite some years back,
Say,
and in trying to break them up, like we used to use a wedge, right, at first,
yeah.
and that tapered wedge like piece of wood, like a stick, it almost like a little short wooden sword, wide at the bottom and narrow at the top, right?
Breakstick.
And,
It's
and, and
essentially like a breakstick.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
put it between the teeth. But the problem with the Chow, every time we'd break them up with the stick, they'd go right back at it, right back
Yeah.
at it.
You
We'd
were-
get them
yeah.
apart and couldn't keep them apart. They'd be right back at it.
so
You grab a handfuls of hair and they'd pull it right out. Like, dang.
my uncle had a breaker bar, and he got too close. Well, this part, well, I don't know if you can see it, right in between your thumb and your pointing finger, this little meat we got right there. Yeah, he
Ooh.
missing that due to the chow chow. Yeah, he grabbed a hold of
Mhm.
that, and yeah, he
Tell
took
my
that.
he's missing.
So
He missing that piece. He ain't never getting that back.
you got other stuff. You got other stuff going on too besides B Unit. You got a group of guys that you handle dogs with professionally too,
Uh,
right?
MMB, that's
Yeah.
correct. MMB with Deshaun, Chris Nightingale, Chris Landrum. We got JJ and Joseph Cotton as well. But yeah, it's a group of us that it's rare when you see us all together, but when you see that MMB tent, we there.
Hey,
I like.
I got an opportunity to get a picture with every one of y'all at Nationals. Remember?
Correct.
It,
Yeah, I remember
hey,
that.
Caleb, it was like herding cats, getting every one of them to get over there.
Hey, and then one would
Who
take
is
off
this?
and
I
the other
tell
one would
you.
arrive and hold on, we got one more race. Yeah, it was, bro. Yeah, it
Hey,
was.
I had
Yeah,
to stand there with Angel for like 20, 30 minutes. And he's like, they're coming, bro. They're coming. And I'm like, all right, they're coming. Like, hey, it was a good opportunity for us to get caught up. I hadn't seen you since season opener last year in Athens.
Yeah.
correct. Yeah, it's been a
That,
minute.
yeah,
That's been a minute.
that young man that ended up getting that first pick from Caleb, that had the white dog that y'all won with. I think he was 11 months old at the time. Is what I remember. I
Correct.
can't remember.
I think that was off of Saint.
Who
I
is
just
it?
remember it was a mostly white dog,
Oh
11
yeah,
months
yeah.
old.
No, what? Bryson Lee? Like, no. That's a
Oh,
different. He got a
no, no,
dog.
no, no. Yes, Brighton Lee. That was Yeti. Yeah, correct. That when we took Yeti, the XL. He showed in the 9 to 12. Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah. Now that's not off us. He did get. He has a teddy bear littermate brother,
No, that's what I
but
was
I don't
saying.
think he's brought
So
him out yet. So
the
Yeti's
young
not off
man
of
that
us.
owned that white dog, I met at that
Yes.
show in Athens, and my guy Angel right here showed that white dog for that young
yeah.
man there.
Yeah.
But
Brighton
that
Lee.
young man also bought a first pick from Teddy Bear's
Yes.
litter from you, Caleb.
Exactly.
Huh?
All right. Yeah. I just want to make sure
And,
it's clarified.
Hey,
and I
good
remember
group of
because
guys though, man.
yeah,
Three cross bullies is what they're called. Really
Yeah.
good
Yeah,
group of guys.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they're my brothers. They're my brothers.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
from Mississippi.
So
yeah.
how's
He
that
actually
dog
signed this deal right
looking
here
now?
too.
Y'all went on to do bigger things with him, right?
We we ain't brought him out yet. I'm
The
not
white
too
one?
sure. I think we're bringing out Yeti. I don't know if he's bringing Yeti out. I ain't seen him in a minute, bro.
Yeah.
It's been a minute.
He was
Uh,
big for his age,
and he
man,
was
looking good at
huge.
11 months.
He was
Yeah.
he was. I think he was 10 months
Yeah.
when I brought him out.
I couldn't believe how big he was and how developed, how mature he looked to be so
We,
young,
we
man.
brought him out. We were missing about I want to say 30 points, and we took him out one more time and champed him out on the second show.
Yeah.
And he did
Nice.
pretty good.
Nice.
He did
Well
really good.
done.
I
That's
met
what's up.
him at Scott Mosley's show. Scott had went ahead and presented me to them, and
Yeah.
we took off from there. I showed their dog in the ICBR that day. Ended up winning with their Merle female that they got, and then took a little bit with Yeti as well. He didn't have too much work on him, so he was a little rough around the edges. But we brought him back home to Texas, and that was the end of
Yeah,
that.
man.
Say so, geez Louise. Where in Texas are you about?
Houston. We're located in Houston.
Yep.
I forgot to.
That's where I was born, man. That's my hometown, Houston.
I'm originally from the Rio Grande Valley, borderline
Oh,
of
okay. What is the,
South
yeah,
Texas.
McAllen, Brownsville,
At
Edinburgh.
956 Cut. Yeah, yeah, that's where I'm from. I was born and raised down there.
So
And
my family is really I was born in a Houston hospital, but most of my family is from Browntown. So
okay,
right down there. Now my full-blooded brother is in Luis and El Campo right now.
okay, okay, I know where that at. Yeah,
That's where they're at. That's where he's at right now. So
we're
yeah,
actually in the
man.
middle. We're
Yeah.
actually in the middle of
Hey,
PG
Houston's
10.
got a lot going on though. It's everything is in Houston.
I,
Everything.
I I try to stay busy, bro. You know, now that since this is my 9 to 5, dogs, I revolve around dogs all day, every day. Since I wake up, you know, it's nothing but dogs. And then as soon as after lunchtime, sometimes even sooner, we start getting the mobile calls and we start hitting the road and driving around.
Yeah.
Like,
Tell us a little bit about that, bro. What
Yeah.
in your day of dogs, like what what are you getting into? What are you doing? Are you extracting? Are you doing AIs? Are you marketing? What do you do?
so give me a second. I'm about to see these numbers real quick. Ya está lista. Hasta está pasadita. Sí, están 25. So, si te lo puede mandar mañana, está machín. Y luego le pegamos. Mañana 5 de la tarde. Que te la mande y así para que llegue el otro día y ya está bien. Okay. We got ¿te doy cambio? ¿Por cuánto va a ser? Igual. Otro 60. Ya está. Okay. I'm sorry, guys.
You're all right.
Like I said, yeah, we were in the middle of a PG test, so yeah. Yeah, old
I
boy's
love
ready
it.
to.
This is what this live
Oh, boy.
stands for. And real quick, Angel, to cut you off, man. Everyone that's watching, share this live. Because
Yes.
Angel is exactly what we look for when we're looking for special guests of this live. What he operates, the motivation that you non-stop of the dog, and the willingness to really teach. Like, that's what we stand for, and that's exactly what you're doing.
I don't know how it's possible that we only heard about 3 out of 20 words that you said, but I still got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're picking up what you're putting
Yeah,
down. I mean, just
100%.
like you said, Angels, I mean, sir, you have a very positive energy and you are competitive, but you are also, you love to talk to dogs with people. You're never going to just dismiss anybody. You're never going to, I mean, you literally, you love to thrive, but you seem to love to watch other people thrive. I mean, it's, we need a lot more of that
And
and a lot less
there's
Walmart.
and there's meaning to it, and I've been actually thinking of how to put this together. So when I got Bane, and I didn't know nothing about the breed. It was completely different, you know, nothing compared to what I was used to. Back then we wouldn't PG test. We wouldn't. There were no AIs. Oh, she's
Right.
bleeding. Give it 7 to 11 days. Once you see the blood
Right.
start clearing up, or if the male tries to get on her, she's not fighting. Let him run. So
Yeah.
back
The
then
picture
there
is
were none of
short.
that. There were none of this. So I entered the game green, bro. Green, green, green. And the reason why I put so much into it is because when I decided to start asking questions, and typical, just like everybody else, I would run. I would run to Facebook and ask questions. And the first thing they would say would be, "Oh, you shouldn't be breeding bullies." I'm trying to learn. And
Right.
what you trying to say, that you guys were born with bullies? No. We're trying to figure this out and better it. So I made it a mission to learn as much as possible and be able to spread the love and be able to spread the knowledge and not have people feeling, man, should I ask? Are these people going to laugh at me? And still to this day, I
Right.
see it. Someone will go ahead and ask simple questions to where you can either answer with a yes or no, but they decide to write a 30, 40 word paragraph laughing at them. It don't make sense.
Amanda.
Like, that don't make sense. Like, you just spent your time showing us that you're really a hater you know what I'm saying? Like, bro, for
Right.
what?
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I made it a mission to where when a lot of people tell me, hey, bro, I don't mean to be bothering you. By all means, bro. This excites me. I love talking about dogs.
Obviously.
Come to
Yes.
me, let's do this.
I
So,
I
love
and
love
if
it.
it.
I don't answer, I'm going to get to you. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to
Yes.
get to you for sure. And I might not be the smartest and I might not have the most knowledge, and I'm still learning every day,
Right.
but I've been we've been providing services for 3 years now. Um, I was working for a scaffold company for 16 years, and left that and the refineries to do this. And uh, we've had our ups and our downs, but we're here. 3 years later, we still pushing. Trying to help people out and help them help them get the knowledge they need and not feel weird about it. 'Cause people make you feel
Yeah.
weird, bro. Like,
It's
damn it,
funny,
man.
Yeah.
like it's funny how the tables turn, isn't it? How the revolving door spins around, and and when you're coming in, the people, the things that were held from you, and the people that laughed when you asked questions and things like that, and now you're on the other side, and you remember that, and so you remember to look back on the little guy and say like, hey, if you have any questions, let me know. If you want to learn, I'll teach
That's
you.
real.
And that's so important in this community. And like Caleb said a minute ago, even though he barely got a word in, cutting out so bad, that is what this show is about. This is a
See,
perfect example
he
of
got it.
the type of
Just a little water bottle.
character that if we could pick every guest, we're picking people that have that mentality, because
I got it.
we think that is the future of this community, and we think that's what it takes for this community to go to the next level, man. And kudos to you for
Oh,
keeping it real, man, and educating and teaching the people that are new, and being friendly, and man, you're good at what you do, bro. I've seen you in action a lot, and it's been an honor for
I
sure.
appreciate it. Hey,
You,
and I
totally
get
agree.
joy showing these dogs, bro.
yeah.
The actually being, you know, I've noticed I don't struggle to bond with these dogs, and that's the part I like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I grab the lead, and it's just like,
Yeah.
bro, let's get it.
Yep.
They're
And
amazing dogs, are they not?
I love them, bro.
I
The American
love.
Bully breed is by far. Don't get me wrong. I love other dogs. I love other breeds. I love the Cane Corso. I love the Rottweilers. I never lose love for them. But
Right. Of
the
course.
American Bully breed, bro, it, they're so eager to please their owners, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
They are. They
it's
hit
a it's a
They're
different.
constant. What are we doing? What are we doing? You know what I'm saying?
mhm.
It's just
A
I love it.
zest for life. Is that how it's described? Their temperament, a
They
zest for life.
tails is
They
going
mean
left
that.
to right. It's you can see it in a wagging tail, bro. That's
Oh yeah.
It's a happy dog. It's
They
a really
are.
happy dog.
They're great. Their temperament is great. I've always been a fan of really big dogs, big, powerful looking dogs, and then going through all the breeds, trying to choose which one I wanted to get my hands into, which one I wanted to be involved with. When I got to the American Bully, being raised around pit bulls, I couldn't believe how they act. They're all so cool, man. They're cool dogs. They're super big and beautiful and muscular and all that. But
Right.
they look the part, but their temperament, it's just
Yeah.
different, man. They're different.
They're exactly what the definition says. They're a companion breed. That's what
Right.
there is.
Yeah.
And they love to be by their owners, and they love to please their owners,
They
you
do.
know. And
Yeah, they do,
you take
man.
care of these dogs, they love it, bro. They really love it, you know.
Yes.
And when people bring me new dogs, and some of these dogs are shy, you know, and I don't blame them.
They are. They definitely
I
are.
get some people that bring their dogs from Dallas. I've had dogs come from Nebraska. So when they come in on this drive, they worried and it's new to them. They ain't been moving around much. So when they get here, it's a new environment and they're all freaked out. And the thing I tell the
Yeah.
owners is exactly what you feed them, bring me that.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to give
Yeah. I
them the
want to
same thing.
literally, yeah, give them the elements that I can that are, yeah.
The last thing I want is for them to be like, my dad dropped me off with this dude right here. I don't even know him and making me work. You know what I'm saying? The least is, well, at least he's feeding me just like my dad. You know what I mean?
Do you
So,
do you have them keep the same kennel, like their kennel crates? Do you have them leave the kennels too?
at times, depends how packed we are. If
Yeah.
not, I like to use my drop kennels.
Okay.
I'll stick them in my drop kennels. I don't like those foldable kennels because some of these dogs get, how should I put it? They know that by going tinkle in their foldable crate, I'm gonna take them out. So we'll take them out and bring them back in, and they end up doing the same thing over again. So here we go. Cause these dogs are
Yeah.
smart. These dogs
It
are
is hard
really,
in
really
training.
smart. Yeah, they already.
Yeah.
So I would tend to leave them in a drop crate, put a wee pad in the bottom, and make sure everything is good. And we got a room specifically for these dogs. You know, unless I want them introduce them to my pack, then I take them to the garage because that's what my garage is. The dog room now. Yeah, we don't park cars in there. It's all dogs in there. Yeah.
Partially.
So
Partially is the thing.
that don't work anymore. The dogs keep that. So if I
I
want
love
to
it.
introduce them, say for instance, they got a problem with going out with other packs and not getting along with other dogs, you're gonna meet the pack, you're gonna conversate with them in the crates, and you're gonna work it out with them because we're fixing to go outside with them. And it usually works, bro. You know, most people, some I've had some clients where because I do work with aggressive dogs as well. So I had some clients where no, my dog don't get along with no one. You get along with mine? I don't see a problem. You know, he's
Yeah.
doing good
So,
now.
so
So
please tell us more about that. I'm really interested in that
Yes.
because that's
Yes.
one of the things you're doing that I would dare say that it's something most people avoid dealing with. And it
Yeah.
seems to be kind of your niche where you're like, oh, you got an aggressive dog? Yeah, bring it over here. We'll see what we can do. And I want to hear more about that because that's one of the many things that makes you special, man. Let's hear about it.
so the thing with these dogs, bro, what I've learned throughout the time, these dogs, there are, how should I put it? Again, there are companions, right? So they want to be around other people. They were bred to be around other dogs and whatnot. So it just, I like to reflect dogs to humans, bro.
Mhm.
So sometimes we act a certain way due to our past, how people have been to us or how they treated us, and that's how you
Yeah.
get. Don't get me wrong, I got a hot head too. You know, I'm real quick to argue. I don't be quiet, so it's due to previous experiences. A dog as well. Something triggers that dog. Okay, it's not. Oh, I'm gonna go fuck shit up. I'm gonna go do this.
All the
It's not that.
time. Yeah.
It don't have that in their head. That's not how they're thinking. an experience made them get to the point that they are, whether it's the owner or another dog, or uh, I had a dog that had never gone outside. We took him out. A car passed by, zooming. He got scared. Ever since then, scared of cars. So
Yeah.
slowly, So you gotta get him, snap him out out of that emotion, out
Yeah.
of that thought, and get them to concentrate on something else quick, and let them know that I got this. You don't worry about that. You continue to do your job. I'll take care of that dog. I'm gonna protect you. You know what I'm saying? And after repetition, the dog starts to become comfortable.
Mm-hmm.
And once the dog starts to become comfortable, then you start getting satisfaction out of it. You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? But for and then again, you got some dogs where it's just, okay, I'm gonna be all right around these dogs. Just don't let them in my bubble,
Yeah.
And excels. Those are the ones that I've had the privilege to work with the most. A matter of fact, I had an XL grab Bane by the neck and pull him out his crate.
Wow.
And yeah, and we separated the fight. Luckily, nobody was hurt. And after that, a couple of weeks later, he was good. I could take him outside. I had made a live that time, and we were out there with a couple of other XLs, and he was chilling. Just don't get in his bubble. Well, I called the owner. I said, hey, we're good. It's time for him to go home. She said, hey, you're going to the Pasadena show, right? I said, yeah, I am. Well, that's going to be your test. I said, what do you mean? There's a lot more dogs there. We ended up taking him. We went to show one, show two, scored first place on both events. And then she said, that's enough. Thank you for your training. I appreciate it. A job well done. And she went ahead and took her dog home. And it's just the fact of you got to understand a dog. You got to read a dog. Dogs don't speak, but they do show you sign language.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Exactly.
So
Yes.
that's
Their
still,
body language speaks.
when a dog
Yeah.
becomes completely still and the hair, you see the hair start spiking up on the spine and the tail starting to flare out.
Get ready.
Yeah, we got problems. You gotta
Yeah.
instantly,
In
you
that
gotta
moment,
snap them
you
out of
gotta
that
have control of your animal. Yeah.
You really
because
said something there, man, because in all my experience with dogs, it comes down to that right there, what you just said. They don't talk like we talk. So it's a game of charades. It's them trying to clue us in on what they have going on, and
Right.
us
They're
trying to
messy.
get them to understand what we want them to do. And once a dog realizes, like, oh, he's wanting me to do something, and when he says this, I do this, and then when they realize, like, every time something new is introduced, it's something else. They have to figure out what you're trying to show them. It becomes a game, and they can't wait to figure out what
correct.
you're teaching them, so they can show you they got it. And that's such a cool thing. That's one of my favorite things about dogs is it's like they just want to please you so bad. They want
Bad.
to show you that I understand, Dad. I got it.
Yeah.
You know.
Right.
And they're going to tell you how they feel, like you were saying. I'm not afraid of a dog that's barking.
No.
I'm afraid of the dog that's not saying nothing, but his body language is telling me
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
I had a
Yeah.
I had a Rottweiler that brought me to train. They had just brought her in from Serbia. They just shipped her in, and the guy had her for a couple of weeks. He brought her to me. Says, "I need basic obedience." The girl,
Yeah.
she don't want to work. Well, she would try to bite every time I try to get her out the crate. And we were on day 3, bro. We're at day 3. I'm already like, should I just tell the owner to come get her? Cause it's gonna be
Yeah.
interesting. This motherfucker
That's
bite
real.
me. You know what I'm saying? So I told my wife, I
Oh, I
said, you
keep
know
on my
what, babe? It, it's gonna have to come down to this, and she's gonna get along with me, and she's gonna have to understand that I'm not here to hurt her. I got her into a bigger crate. I closed one side up. I jumped in with her in the other side, and I locked that up, bro. I said, it is what it is. We both sitting in that crate, bro. She's staring at me like, bro, what are you doing? So little by little, I
So
started
they got the
moving in my
crazy one.
hands. I started throwing in some treats. And next thing you know, bro, after about 15 minutes, she's laying on my laps, and we're perfectly fine now, you know.
That,
But
that's what's
Yeah,
up.
like you said, G, it's not the
I'm
barking
thinking through
dog.
it. It's-
It's not the barking dog. It's some of these dogs that are barking out of fear, the anxiety.
yeah,
They're letting you know, hey, or
I'm
trying to get
thinking
away.
about this. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
scared, you know. And it's the ones that stay still, bro. Them quiet ones, yeah. Those are the ones that.
Like, okay.
But
Yeah, yeah, anytime the boys they literally they get completely still, and just like you said, the hair on the back raises, their tail just still, complete
they
everything
stop
about them
breathing.
is still. I go right, they stop breathing, and at that point I'm already grabbing a collar. At that point I'm not even risking it. I'm grabbing the
You
collar.
know, and
Now we did have somebody
that's why
that
I
asked you about.
recommend, I always recommend, and I tell once the dog goes home, obviously it's different. If, say, for instance, Manda, you bring me your dog, I train it, it's
Yeah.
gonna work completely different for me than what it will when you take it home for the first couple of days. Okay, so I would suggest for them to keep a collar or a snake lead on them that fits, that won't come off.
Yeah.
So in case something does happen, you have something to grab onto
Oh yeah, my
because
dogs are collar 24, like literally when they're in their crates, I take the collar off.
that's the only
Um,
time.
outside of that, anytime they're outside of that kennel, they have they have collars, and I make sure it's a collar that I can grab without hurting my hand. Um, so it's something that's easily reachable, and it's not going to shred my hand if they decide to pull.
Her hands
You
are
know,
frail.
one of the things I love about this is like we're all expressing our own interpretation of
Yeah.
this process that we do with these dogs. I just find it fascinating how many different ways there is to bridge that gap in communication between us and the dog. Like for me in my house, for example, I don't put any collars on my dogs ever unless they're going to work. That's it. So when I put something around my dog's neck, he knows it's time to work. If
Yeah,
we're just kicking it, like all my dogs right now laying all around me right now, no, there's no collars on anybody. If I put a lead on them, it's work time. If I put a collar on them, it's a shock collar because I'm letting them outside, and I don't ever have to shock them. But when I let them outside, I want to be able to control them without having to run around the yard. I got a big yard, and
yeah, it's
so I
placebo.
put the shock collar on. I let them outside. They know, hey, I'm going to hit that bell to ding, and that means start handling your business and stop playing around. And then if I hit the vibration, they know whatever
They're like,
command
oh,
comes with that, it's obey that or get zapped.
yeah.
And they don't play. You know,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
handle they
And they
handle their
really
business.
don't like the
So
backing part. That's kind of their thing. Yeah, with my XL, I have it so that the really heavy thick collar, that is for the house. Like that is just he wears that all the time. It's the snake chain that I use for showing.
yeah,
So when that gets put on,
he
his
knows.
entire like he changes.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Cool man,
I only
and
use
the
it. I
snake in the
only have
background.
like
That's a little.
my dogs don't have it, and my dogs know their trail from the garage out to the back door, and they wait by the back door, and then they go outside. It,
Yeah.
it's the new dogs that
Yeah.
I go ahead and I got to keep something on them,
Yeah.
because it's something, anything can happen
It's
split
hard to
second, bro.
it's hard to grab a hold of a dog if it doesn't have a collar.
Yep.
If like if I have to take control of this dog and it's
How you
against his will
can do it?
without a collar, it's tough.
It is.
Yeah.
So,
Yes, to try tackling it.
It is really
Oh
tough,
God.
especially bullies because they have so much skin
bro.
that you can't just grab handfuls of skin and try to because they'll just turn around on you. Yeah.
They're just looking
they,
at you
they,
like, excuse me, it's going with
they'll
me
go
now.
ahead and take off. They will.
Yeah.
Hey,
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Angel.
No,
Angel, I have a question. So,
oh yeah.
pack mentality. We talked about the pact. How important do you think the pact is for the dog and for training of the dog, and how do you introduce a new dog to the pact?
That's a great question.
So
Thank you.
obviously, a pack is important to these. A pack is important. Period. It's
Yes.
you know alpha. You know, you gotta, in order so this dog can understand that I'm alpha, he got to figure out one way. And I work off of treats, toys, and love and affection, bro. Yeah, that's the only thing. I don't like to work with love and affection because then I get attached to these dogs. But
I do
treats,
too.
yeah, bro,
I'll be
they
like,
gotta go.
"Get
You
in the
know what I'm
back of
saying?
the car."
They gotta go. So the love and affection, I try to leave it towards the end, but we end up getting there regardless. But yes, when I go ahead and present the dogs to the or a certain dog to the pack, I start with the one that I can control the most, and which is pretty much the alpha of the yard when I'm not around. So I'll bring Bane outside, and then I'll let him get to Bane first, and then
Yeah.
I'll bring a female, and then I'll bring my other male out, and then the rest of the pack. And little by little, I just don't introduce right off the bat. Second thing, I never, when I'm about to introduce the pack, I'm introduce a dog to the pack. That's why I start by one dog or two. Uh, Here at the house, it's just not me. My kids help. My boys, even
Oh,
Faith helps. You know, there's I have clients that, hey, bro, I got kids at the house that are real young and they keep jumping on them. Don't worry about it. Faith's gonna help me take care of that. And Faith helps me with that, even if it's just walking side by our side. You know what I mean? But my wife will help. My wife is actually the operation. I mean, the brains behind the operations. But yeah, I just work here. But she really
love it.
is. She really is, bro. My wife don't speak much, and you guys don't see her much. It's rare, but she's taught me so much about it. We'll get to that here in a bit. But
Caleb and
Oh,
I
good.
can
Yeah,
both,
'cause I definitely
we
want
can
to touch
both
on that.
relate to that. I guarantee.
Absolutely.
so
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. The two gentlemen, yeah, the two gentlemen talking to you tonight will definitely relate to that later when we bring it back up for
yeah.
sure.
So when I bring a
Absolutely.
dog out, and I make sure my other dogs are on a leash. I don't let them rush up to each other, and no, that rushing up is going to start a conflict.
Yeah.
Especially with
Absolutely.
Immediately,
multiple
it's going to be
dogs.
a "what's up,"
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's not what we're doing.
Yeah.
So little by little, and there's times that they do want to go and correct with the leash. Immediately correct with a leash,
Yeah.
and simple tricks. Say, for instance, with the leash, you never pull back. You pulling back engages that drive in them to actually want
Yeah.
to go more.
They
I keep
resist
it
you.
nice and tight and I pull up. It's always up, never back. So, or I twist my wrist and it gives them a tug up. It lets them know, hey, you need to chill out. Little by little, we start bringing them in, let them sniff each other, whatnot, and then we go from there. If we see that we're fixing to have any problems, then we correct it. If not, then we just continue going. But we present the new dogs first with Bane, because Bane's the one I can control the most. I've had
Yes.
him since he
Yeah.
was
Hey,
'Yeah,
there
he
16,
we
seems like
go.
the most
you know,
copacetic, easy to get along with kind of
easy.
guy.
I trained Bane to balance a tennis ball on his muzzle. I don't know if y'all seen that picture.
No,
I'll put a
I
tennis ball
would
on his
really love for you
muzzle.
to repost it
And
if you can find it. I
that
would love to see
boy
that
will
again.
hold it, bro. He'll hold
You,
it there. We
you
put
know,
a water bottle. Yeah. So it is important to present the pack, especially here in my house, because when the clients' dogs are here, they can hear the dogs. We go open up the dog food containers and then wow, 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 wow. They get excited. They're about to eat.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they hear them and they start barking. And if you don't present to them, they start getting anxiety over the fact of what's over there. I want to know. I want to go check it out.
Yeah.
So little by little, take them out in the backyard. And then next thing you know, bro, I got all the dogs running around together. I haven't had
yeah.
I haven't had a problem since I stopped training aggressive dogs since we've been hitting a lot of shows. Well, we
Yeah.
were hitting a lot of shows, and I quit the aggressiveness to protect my clients' dogs because of the fact that we leave on the weekends. My boys are the ones that stay here, or my brother-in-law comes
I
over.
get it.
So if
Yeah.
something happens, regardless if someone's here, that's my responsibility. Not my
Yeah.
kids can't answer to that. My brother-in-law can't answer to that. If something happens, I gotta answer to that. So
Oh,
to
Absolutely.
absolutely.
avoid any
Some of
problems, We leave aggressive dog. I've gotten a couple people, hey, bro, I need help with my dog. Oh, I can't do it right now, bro. I got a house full of show dogs. You know, I
Yeah.
can't do it. So
Yeah.
There was a question earlier, Angel, about someone had asked if you'd ever had a dog that could not be trained, like, or that couldn't, like an aggressive dog that you just couldn't rehab.
not aggressive. All the aggressive dogs have mellowed out and they get to go back home. You
Yeah.
know, what I did have a problem was with one dog. He was so stubborn, stubborn. It did not want to listen. It just wanted to go, 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 go,
Yeah.
go. I could get him to sit, stay, and lay. And this was early when we first, early when we first started.
Yeah.
And he did not want to listen. He just, well, I kept him for a month. I think it was because I offer training for basic obedience anywhere between 4 to 6 weeks. I kept that dog for 12 weeks till
Wow.
finally I told him, yes, yes. And the way I work, I guarantee my training. I believe that we have the knowledge and the skill to be able to train these dogs. You know, any dog is trainable. You know, a behavior, a bad action is a behavior, and a behavior can be corrected or rewarded. So a dog will
I
get
like that.
trained. This boy just did not want to listen. And I told the guy, I said, look, bro, I can get him to sit for 2, 3 seconds. Then he wants to go. So I don't know what else to do. He came and picked him up. He took him to PetSmart. And he said that the dog was walking on a leash. He told the dog to sit, and the dog sit. He let go of the leash because he was looking at stuff and started walking. And then he said, oh shit, my dog. When he turned around, the dog was walking right beside him. Okay. I said, are you serious? Then he takes him home the next day. He says the wife calls him on the phone, says, hey, I forgot. I can't remember what it was. Something on the counter. Can you bring it to me? Well, the dog was sitting next to him on the couch. And he told the dog, stay. He got up. He went to go get the stuff. He went out, came back in, and the dog was peeking out to the door, but he was still staying. He hit me back up. He said, bro, I don't know why you said he wasn't trained. This is a totally different dog. I said, bro, he wasn't doing that over here, man. He was not doing that over here, bro. So
Oh no.
I think, to me, I think he just missed his owner. I think that's what it was.
Possibly.
And he was ready
Yeah.
to go home. He was ready to go home, and he didn't want to have to come back to me. So he said, I'll be a good boy, Dad. You know,
You know,
Hey,
so Nikki
you
had a
said
question
something too
about,
that
like, go ahead.
all right. You said something that I want to hit on. Bane is the dog that really started your program, and that's your best trainer, it sounds like. A trained dog is the best trainer for other dogs. So how important is that, and how important is it you creating the alpha mentality in the dogs that you're bringing in your home to train?
how should I put it? So I don't let my dogs try to get a feel for them being alpha. People know that Bane is the OG of the camp, and they respect that. You see, Bane won't take, he won't, I've taught Bane not to be abusive on that mentality. Because he will try every once in a while to get on the dog and start humping him, and it's like, bro, what are you doing, bro?
Showing
You don't have to do that
dominance.
around here. Like, why
I'm
are
the
you doing that?
OG here. I'm the OG.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But to me, is you don't have to do that. Quit that shit. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people, a lot of people ask the same question too. Bro, your dogs don't fight? No. I like at all? Nope, not at all. How do you do that? Because I'm the one that does the fighting around here, not them. You know, the dogs, they're not here to fight, bro. These are not fighting dogs. These are, again, companion dogs.
Yeah.
And if you want to be my companion, you will understand that I am alpha. I run this pack, and not no one else. Not no other dog. Out here, it ain't the four-legged alpha. Out here is a two-legged alpha. Yeah, there ain't. So I try showing them that. And what I like about it with Bane is that they see that Bane behaves and reacts to the commands and gets rewarded. I love to reward the dogs, whether, again, like I said, treats or toys, but they want to have part in it then. And then they start, hey, I want some too. Once we get that, they'll start understanding there is no alpha. The guy that feeds us is the alpha.
There you
So,
go.
One of us.
yeah,
Yes,
it
one
ain't.
of us.
It's so important, man. For I'm really glad that we're talking about this. I don't know that we've talked about it in a while on here, but that pack mentality, and because that's how the dog's mind works. In the wild, from the wolf, the dog has a pecking order. Somebody is in charge. Somebody is in charge when that dog is away, and
Yes.
somebody is definitely not in charge at all, ever. And there's everything in between. And so it's like,
I love how you put
It's
that.
true. It's
This
true.
guy ain't never in charge.
yeah.
It's true.
And so and they fall in line. They know the pecking order. You could literally remove one dog and then another and then another in the certain order, and one of them will take that lead role on down to the last
Absolutely.
dog. And as long
Absolutely.
as people understand that,
It's hot.
uh, then it's a lot easier to deal with dogs.
I'm hot.
Oh my God, there's an armadillo in my yard. That just scared the heck out of me. Uh, my boy Pressure just went running over there. I'm like, what is this? An armadillo? Get over here, boy. You can't have that. Come on.
Not the kind that carry leprosy, are they?
Jesus.
Yeah,
Get
I'm
in
done.
here, boy.
Damn Savage.
Hey,
Golly.
Angel. Hey, Angel, real quick, man. I love that your daughter walks in here. Seriously, like during live, like just wraps her arms around you. Like the impact you have on the dogs, the impact you have on your children, the impact you have on your house.
Young
Like
man.
you are the alpha, and that's shown, and that's amazing. I love, like, man, your kids help train everything. Like,
You,
how included is your family in this?
like I told you, we would talk about it. Um, my wife, my wife is the one. She's head of operations. She's taught me from the PG testing. We were doing AIs, but at the time I was working in the plants, and she would take care of it for me. She would pull Bane, because Bane was overly, I guess I could say, overly worked. It was when COVID hit, so everybody and their mama wanted to breed the dogs.
Yeah.
So if I'm not mistaken, not including non-registered dogs, Bane has close to like 450, a little bit over 450 puppies. So
Damn.
yeah, he got he got a lot of dogs, bro. He got a
Hey,
lot
Angel,
of
real quick.
puppies.
Hey, your wife in the comments said I'm the true alpha. I just had to point that out.
And
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
self-preservation, I
Um,
suggest don't read
you
the
know,
text.
when you get a woman by your side, bro, that you can tell means no harm and really wants to see her man succeed and whatever it is he does, you let
Come
her
on.
be alpha because she's not fixing to guide you or misguide you in any direction that will cause harm to the family. That's Mama Bear. She gonna take care of you. You know what I'm saying? So I'll let
That's
her
what I
be
call my wife
alpha.
too,
She
Mama
can go
Bear.
ahead and get her flowers. She's alpha. But hey, but tell her to go ahead and run in that garage and try to take these dogs out and see if they listen to her. Yeah, okay.
Talk your talk,
Uh,
Angel. Talk your talk.
but she was the one that taught me. She started the PG testing. When I got out the refineries, we invested our little money that we had saved up, and we said, she was the one that said, "Let's run with it." I said, "Babe, what if we don't make it?" She said, "What if we keep pushing until we do? You know,
Damn
what are we
right.
gonna do? You
Damn
know, what are
right.
we gonna do?" So I said, "Let's do it then." So she ran it. She did. She loves to do reading. Uh, Whenever my wife speak on something, it's because she has knowledge on it, and if she don't, she'll tell you,
Researched it. Yep.
give me a little bit, and then she'll figure it out. But other than that, she won't speak on something she don't know. So when we started doing this, I was the guessing theory. I think it works like this. I think no, 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 bro. I don't read the menu to assemble anything, and then I have to disassemble and go back to the instructions and then do. Yeah, my wife said you should have done it the first time. So I'll just go ahead
What is
and
that a
listen.
universal dude thing? God, y'all are.
But we are all involved. All of us are involved. My daughter is about to turn 3-year-old. She knows how to help with whelping. She knows
Mhm.
how to clean puppies. She knows that she'll even ask, "What's her name?" So like that, she can refer to the dog by the name. So she likes this. She'll go out there and help me train. My boys, Isaiah's the older one. Isaac is the one behind the scenes. He helps out here at the house. But Isaiah's the junior handler, won multiple first places, best overall junior handler at many events. So we all contribute to this one way or another.
Everyone plays a part. Everyone's a
Everybody,
cog in the watch.
hey, we're a dog family for real, for real. Everybody, and I'll tell them, hey, if you don't like the dogs, tell me. Hey, no problem. You don't have to do it.
Yeah.
I don't want you to feel obligated to
Yeah.
do something. You know, it don't work like that. I want them. I want them. Here you go. I want them to enjoy.
There
I don't
you
want them
go.
to have to feel it like it's a job or a duty. You know,
Fine.
it's
You want them to like actually really bond with this and enjoy it and develop a very, very positive outlook on it. It should be fun. It should be fun. When it
Yes,
stops being fun,
if it's
sometimes
a
you're like,
job for a child, they're going to unlove it immediately. I love
immediately.
what you
yep,
said, Angel. Let your children tell you what they like and what they don't like, what they love and what they don't, and push them towards what they love. Like that motivating factor behind them, but you can't motivate them to like something they don't like.
That's so true, man. You know,
Dang.
it really comes down to this. I've noticed. So what you do is you teach them about it and bring them around it, give them opportunities to get involved, and then they choose their own level of involvement. You know what I mean? If they're not interested, if you make them do it, yeah, look at that. If you make them do it, then they hate it. You know,
yeah.
it's like you kind of got to let
Reverse
them do it at their
psychology
own
is,
pace.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. They'll make up their own minds. I mean, and sometimes if you have the magic to kind of guide them, you know, to what you're happy with and being happy with, then more power to you. But for the most part, they're gonna make the
These
decision.
two guys, I guarantee you, these two guys, they can attest to this. Y'all, I know y'all feel me on this, man. It's like when my daughter came to me and she said, "Dad, can I talk to you for a minute?" I said, "Yeah, sure, yeah, come here." We went and sit down, sit outside a minute, and she said, "I want this to be mine one day. I want to be involved with the dogs. I want you to teach me everything." And I was like, like
It's
I
a
waited
Your
my I
heart
waited
time.
so
skipped
long for
two
these.
beats, at
This
least two beats.
Choked up. You're like, "Oh,
this is everything for me to
You
hear
get that
this,
yeah.
right?
knot
But
out
like,
on your
Oh,
throat,
yeah.
and it's
oh
like,
man,
Oh,
yeah, I'm
yeah. I
talking
didn't
about
cry.
you.
Like you're just
Come here
resisting it.
and
I
say
told
hi.
you so you cry.
Come here. Y'all know my
yeah.
baby.
Yes, Lily.
Like, hey.
But
I,
like when
I
she
love that
came to
girl.
me and she
I
was
love
like,
her so much.
"I want to know it all," and I was like, "Oh my God, like this is such a big deal, because you can't force that. It's up to them, and to know that all these years of work I have ahead of me in this and in honing my craft, man, that it's not just for me, it's for my family. I know y'all both understand what I'm talking about, man. It's like, man, just knowing the family's involved, knowing my wife's smart enough, business minded enough to stay ahead of me and let me keep my foot on the gas, like
That
it's a
part,
big deal.
that part right there, bro. That
That's
part
a
right
big
Yeah,
there.
deal at
Uh,
yeah.
it.
when she's
You
clearing the
won't get
way,
stymied.
we
You
don't
won't
got
get
to worry about the
stymied by it now.
brake pedal. It's just all gas running, you know? Yeah, it's that part.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it, bro.
Whether there's any in the
But
tank,
e-
it's pedal in the middle.
even well, Faith is about to turn 3. She turns 3 in May, and I'll tell her, hey, we're gonna go to a dog show tomorrow. Dog show? So yeah, she loves it. She loves it. And
Yeah.
as soon as we get there, Faith, we're here. Oh, dog shows? So
Are y'all gonna try to make it to Arkansas this weekend? Do you know yet?
we should be out there. We
Oh
should be
man,
out there.
I'll be. You know, it's 20 minutes from where I live, so
Yeah,
We should.
he'll absolutely be there. He'll
Yeah.
live there. He'll
Yeah.
be living there. It's gonna be
And
great.
me, the wife, my two girls, because we just had a newborn as well. Uh,
Congrats, man.
Thank you, brother. And Mercedes and a couple of others. We're gonna go. Yeah, we'll be out there for sure.
well, I know all the good restaurants in town, and you know, I know my way around
All
where we're
of
at.
them. He knows all.
Yeah,
of
real
them.
well.
Oh,
So.
so Birdie's gonna be
Look at
there?
that smile,
Angel,
bro.
I gotta ask this question. You and Mercedes, I love the relationship.
Oh,
What is the
yeah.
relationship? Is this a friendship? Are y'all brother and sister? Because it's a tight knit,
Yeah.
genuine relationship. It's not a friendship.
Yeah.
It's family.
That's my
So
sister.
tell us about that real quick.
That's my sister. That's my sister. That's one of the persons that can walk into my house without even having to knock.
Did you call her?
We've been there for each other through tough times. You know, when she needed someone there, we were there to help, and when we needed someone there, she was there to help. You know,
That's what's up.
her daughter and my kids get along. As soon as they get here, Mercedes will walk in. She'll come sit on the couch, and Grace will go straight to the kids' room, like, you know, hi, Grace. Oh, hi. And she goes straight to the boys' room, you know. So, yeah, that's my sister. You know, even before Deadpool. Yeah, even before, because we both co-own Deadpool. Obviously, Deadpool stays with her. But even before that, bro, we were really close. You know, we had her, like, again, she would come around a lot, and we've just gotten to the point where, well, we could tell each other everything and anything, and might be offended at that moment, but we'll get over it. You know, that's what family's about. Sometimes we're wrong.
There we
You
go.
know, and
Yeah.
we're not perfect, and I don't expect us to be perfect, but we have, of course, we have our disagreements, and especially from two dog people that see things differently, you know?
Yeah.
I think she spoils the dogs too much, and I tell her that all the time.
Don't start nothing, Angel. Don't start nothing here. Don't start nothing.
I don't know when we do none. Oh, gosh.
But
She's going to call you after this, boy. Oh, my God.
But at the end of the day, yes, to answer your question, she's family, bro. Her, Grace, and Amy, they're family. You know what I'm saying?
You can tell. You can tell. Like through y'all's love for each other. And what's crazy is her daughter's name is Grace. Your daughter's name is
Faith.
Faith.
So that's actually my two daughters' middle names. Is Grace and Faith.
But it's Faith with a Y. Fayth.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
My wife
Mine's
said,
with the I.
Yeah, my wife said, well, we're actually, just, I want to say, when I met my wife, you know, a little bit before that, I had lost my grandma, and we're going through tough times, you know, and I was a big grandma's boy. My grandma was the one that pretty much, you know, was there. And once I met my wife, my world started changing, and she presented something to me that I didn't believe someone could have so much in them, and it was her love for Jesus Christ and her faith. And it switched up. It helped turn things around. I was a daily alcoholic, bro. I would drink. If you ask anybody that knows me from the show world, I would start drinking from 9 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Until the day would end. You know, and I am happy to say and proud to say that I've been alcohol free. I've been sober for almost 2 years now. I ain't had one beer, you know.
Huge salute, brother, man. Real.
I appreciate that.
That's some hard work, man. That man.
And it was, but it was a lot easier understanding who Jesus Christ was. You know, I'm really big on God, guys. I believe that there is a God, and I believe that He does have a Son, and I believe that He's the one who guides us our way. And I'm not gonna say we don't have our trials and tribulations, but not everything's perfect. But hey, ain't this life? We're supposed to learn from it. You know, we're
Oh yeah.
supposed to from these trials we have our lessons, and it teaches us how to be better persons. And I, I just I love my God, bro. And my life has changed ever since I've put him not around it, but in the center of it.
Yep.
When you put God in the center of everything, he gets to touch everything around you. When you put God around you, he only gets to touch certain things. So putting him in the center of my life, my wife opened up a lot to me. Bro, I would smoke a pack of cigarettes a day and chew tobacco a can a day. So
Mercy.
zero. I don't have. I have zero habits now.
Man,
My only habits,
except
Man.
dogs. Except dogs. That's your
God,
habit.
It's the only addiction you
God,
got.
family, my hustle for my family, and my dogs, bro. That's all I got. That's all I got. That's all I live for now. You know, and we've been very fortunate, very blessed. I don't believe in luck. You know, we don't run on luck because physics says that you get what you put in. You know what I mean? So if you do good, you will get good, and God will bless you 70 times more. So I just, yeah, it's
Seven,
been a big change.
7 times 7, man. Hey, but Angel, real quick, like your story, your impact. Seriously, in the comments right now, Hector Flores actually put like a comment that like, hey, you know, recovering addict, like huge respect. Like that's what he's you don't understand what people are dealing with, but when people hear your story and the story that you're really telling and how your wife like changed your life and how dogs have impacted it, and Mercedes talking about how proud she is of you, like in the
Yes.
comments, and everyone that's joining us tonight, everyone
Amazing.
that's going to listen to this, and the people that are listening tonight, like Angel, you have such an impact on this dog world, man. You have such a story, and we're so honored to have you tonight. And I really just want to let you know the impact that you have, because you do, man. You have such more of an impact than you know.
Appreciate that, guys. I truly appreciate that. And a word of advice: it is
Yeah.
hard. It is hard. It's extremely hard, you know. But when when you got little ones looking up to you, you know, it's
Come on.
uh. So I got custody of my two boys, you know,
Yeah.
and I got custody of them a little bit after my grandma passed away, and I was lost, bro. And I remember one day I pulled up to my house. I was coming home from work, and I got there, and I'm not gonna lie, bro. The good word says to share your testimony, and I was driving home, and there was a parked car on the side of the road, and I'm doing about 90, 95. I'm about to lose my job. Everything's going to shit. And I jump into the shoulder thinking that ending this would be quick, you know? And I
Yeah.
heard a voice in my head say, what about them boys?
Yeah.
I
Don't do it.
jerk on that steering wheel, and I get home, and this is the part that got me, guys. When I pulled up to the driveway, my oldest son, they were cleaning up the dogs. They had just gotten home from school, and they were cleaning up the dogs, and they were wrapping it up. And my oldest son walks all the way, he walks all the way up to the truck,
Come on.
and he says, man, Dad, you don't know how you saved us. And in my head was, bro, you have no idea how you saved me, you
There we
know?
go.
So it is hard, G. It is hard. Sometimes you think that you can't do it. But when you put God first, bro, everything is possible. If God's with you, who could be against you? You know? So now the way I see it and how I do it is for my family and my kids, bro. It's for my cat. It's for them. You know, I got to wake up every day and push You tell me that I'm always running around and doing something. I got to, bro. I got to, bro. There ain't no other choice because there ain't no plan B. I am plan B, A,
There we go.
C, D.
There we go.
There ain't no
E through
someone.
Z, baby. Yes.
You know what I mean? If something happens while I'm out on the road, oh wait, let me go home and get who? I, it's me. I got to make this work. So it's them, bro. They my motivation. I do this for them. I used to work 16 hours a day. Now I ain't missed a football game, bro. I ain't missed a basketball game. I ain't missed a day of my daughter's life. I've been there throughout the whole birth of this child, our newborn. I'm seeing her grow. I've been there with my wife through her whole pregnancy. I got to be there. I didn't never got to experience this, bro. You
Yeah.
know, I'm always on the road,
Blessings
being
on
away from the family.
blessings.
And now, and the dog business, the dog game, how people like to refer it, gave me the opportunity to be a full-time father and a full-time husband. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes.
It's a
And
mental
if I
thing.
gotta learn new tasks, then I'm gonna learn it. And if we're doing something wrong, I'm gonna perfect it, and I'm gonna continue to give these people the successful results that they are looking for. And one, to please them, and two, to be able to stay with my family, bro. I'm not look. I'm not even lying, bro.
No, I love that you've been able to, you know, put your mind in a place where, like, one, that's not just possible, but two, like you're willing to evolve with it and to do what's necessary to grow not just yourself but like your family's involvement with it, to make sure that everything is squared away, everything that they need, that you need, is there. Like, man, you're adaptable, man. There's nothing for it. Like, you
Yeah,
are
I'm
just
trying to
severely
think of the
adaptable.
words to describe how to. I'm trying to pinpoint what it is I've been trying to say for a minute about you, man. That makes you so unique. It's not just like a transparency, and it's not like you're not deep because you are, obviously. But it's like it's kind of what you see is what you get in a sense. And I
So
think
real.
people spend just a short time around you and they know who you really are really fast. And it allows a level of comfort.
Yes.
It's a valuable thing, man. Like you're a guy that can be taken at face value, and that's so important, man. Kudos to you, man. I believe strength comes from struggle,
Most
and
definitely.
I believe that when you come from a darker place and make it all the way to the light, that light means a lot more to you then.
Oh yeah.
And I'm
Oh,
not saying the light's not just as valuable to somebody that hasn't been in the dark, because it is, but maybe it's just that it resonates with me a lot more when it comes from the other side all the way to the light, because I've been there. So for me, man, I'm just proud to hear you say how far you've come, and the decisions you've made, and how you built your life around your family and these dogs. That's what I do, man. So I get it.
Yes. And
It's a
oh,
Angel,
big it's a
before you
big
take
deal.
it back away, this is the perfect time. Everyone share this live and share Angel's page. Tag him in everything. This man does not stop in the Houston, Texas area. If you need progesterone, if you need AIs, if you need anything dog related, dogs trained, obedience
children.
training, dogs handled in the ring, get with Angel. He does not stop.
Ultrasound,
He does not
Yeah.
stop.
yeah. We do it all, bro. We really do. We do it. Anything and everything having to do with dogs, we do it. It's dogs is our life. It really,
It's
it's a
inspiring,
big
is
part of
what
our
it
lives.
is.
I'm not gonna say it's our life because I'll take that back. Again, God is our life, but it's a big part of our life. It's a really huge part of our life.
Yeah.
including from me to my wife, to my kids, to the little one. It's we we really do love dogs, bro. We really do, and especially the American Bully breed. We really do love
Easily.
these bulls, man. You know, and people probably. I'm not where I want to be, G. I really ain't where I want to be with the part of my dogs, okay? Because I don't like I said earlier, I don't like to consider myself a breeder. Uh, um, I don't have the consistency to say I am a breeder. I believe that you need a program first, you know. And I was that guy that, oh, I want a stud, I want to have the stud. That's why I got Bane. Matter of fact, not too long ago, the guy that produced Bane, his name is George Perry. Hats off to him. That's my Bane's my best friend, you know. So that's a must. But I just did a AI for him not too long ago. Well, I did the progesterone test on his female, and then I did the AI for him. And we were actually talking about it. And I told him, bro, when I first met you, I wanted the stud, an ego thing in it for me. The way I see it now, in it for all the wrong reasons. You know, I got the baddest dog. I tell him, I told him that day, if I knew then what I know now, that female you had offered me, I would have taken her. I would have taken her and I would have ran my program with a female. Same bloodline, but just a female. So like that, I could have been able to try to create something, you know. Uh, with a stud, I had to wait either to buy a female, and then when I did buy a female, things would go south. Either it just wouldn't work out. It wouldn't work out. So now the type of stuff I'm on is I want to create a program so like that I can create consistency and be able to create a bloodline. Hey, there's steps to it. You feel what I'm saying? It's just not, oh, I got a dog and now it's gonna be Bane line. How?
Yeah.
How am I running off with Bane line if it wasn't even produced by me to start off with? You feel what I'm saying? Like, bro, how? That don't work. So I really want to create something off of it, but at the same time, this is why we're called B Unit. It's called B Unit Camp because it's Bane's unit. And if it don't have Bane in the pedigree, then I don't want it. It gotta have Bane in the pedigree because it's B Unit. You know, what I'm trying to do is prove that you can do something with nothing and get far with it. If you put your mind to it and stick to it, you can create it. And it's gonna take time. It's not gonna be easy, and you're gonna have your hiccups. And yes, you're gonna want to throw the towel in more than 10 times, bro. Because man, I know, man, bro. There's been times where, as a grown man, bro, you get frustrated. And I've cried on my wife's shoulder and told her, "Hey, I don't want to do this shit no more, man. I've had enough." You know, like things just, I'm tired. And she'll go ahead and say, babe, everything we've done, if you want to quit, I got your back and we'll go do what you want to do. I got you. But everything you've done, everything you've put in, how far we've gotten, are you sure? Let me sleep on it and then I'll get back at you, babe.
Damn right.
See, Mitch,
Damn right. And
she
don't
knows
you
her man.
dare
She knows
quit.
her man.
And
She
we'll
knows
be
what
the
you like.
ones to
I'll
goddamn
be
hear
with
it
you.
here. Everyone go follow Angel. Go share his page. Go invite your friends. Make sure a moment like that never takes place. But the transparency that you're talking about, because I'm sure it's worked both ways many times. Been on each other's shoulders, crying, like talking about how are we going to get to this next. We have kids to feed. We have a mortgage to pay. We have car notes to pay. But you have stuck through it. You got out the mud and you have formed this beautiful life, man. Respect.
Appreciate that, bro.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. It's been hard. It's been hard, and it continues. We have. I'm still not where, like I said, we barely running off our third generation with Deadpool, and on top of that, it's still not. I want to get to the point where it's B unit, top and bottom, not just my girls breeding to outside studs. No,
Yeah.
there's so many. I've seen so many successful camps out there. For instance, a big shout out to Robert Lee. I haven't seen that guy go outside of his program. Another guy, Marco Suarez, salute to them
Yep.
OGs
Ooh,
that,
Marco.
you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
I've never, another
Sure.
guy, Oscar Gomez, I've never seen those guys go outside of the yard. They produce within, and if they don't make it happen, on to the next project. It is what it is,
Mm-hmm.
so it is possible, but we are talking about, well, I'm referring to 3 OGs in the game. These guys been in here for 20 plus years.
Yeah,
So them men are the proof that you can make something out of nothing
absolutely.
and run with it and make it. You can do it. You can create. I'm not gonna say there's a perfect dog because obviously my style of dog is not your style of dog, but you can make a flawless American bully that resembles the breed. It is possible.
Yes.
I don't
And
see.
Angel, I want to dive in on this. We've talked about Deadpool a few times and that he is your third generation. That
Sorry,
is a beautiful
second
dog.
generation. Second. Sorry.
Second generation.
That's a
That is a
beautiful.
beautiful bull. How do people get a hold of him? What is his stats? What is his titles? And how do they get a hold of him to use him?
So first things first. In the ABKC, he lacks 2 majors and 50 points to go ahead and champ out. We're right there. We are right there. I don't.
Beautiful
But
bull.
thank
Beautiful
you.
bull.
He is a champion in the ICBR, and he is a BRCG champion as well. You can get a hold of either Mercedes or I, because at the end of the day, if you hit up Mercedes, you're fixing to come to my house because I do all the breedings. I do all the repo stuff.
You
So
come in here anyways, man.
he's gonna come over here. But at the same time, this is what's cool about it, bro. So we got him at 1.5. Not
Fair.
nothing too
Y'all
crazy.
jump on it.
You
Jump on it.
know. He is 2 years old. When you breed to our boy, this is what's badass about the team. Okay, I'm gonna tell you, this is what I love about it.
Yeah.
You bring your female over. We go ahead and do the PG testing here. Obviously, for that service, they would have to pay. But AIs, you don't have to pay for that. That comes included.
Wow.
You see,
Okay.
at PG test, I have to invest in my equipment and all that
Absolutely.
stuff. I got to buy strips, whatnot. So, but for the AIs, I get that stuff in bulk, so no problema. We can help you out with that. On top of that, I'll put his semen under the microscope so you can check it out and see that it's jumping.
Ability. Yeah.
I'll make sure that your female is not pulling. We offer, and if she is pulling, we'll drain the blood out for her, make sure everything's good. We offer ultrasounds, and then after that, obviously you breed to our boy, you don't have to pay for the ultrasounds. We want to confirm for you too. And then on top of that, Mercedes
Yes.
takes pictures of your female so we can go ahead and present the breeding
Wow.
online,
Yeah.
And then on
Oh,
top
wow.
of that, after the puppies are here, Mercedes wants to take pictures of them, I think at 6 weeks again. So like that, we can help you promote these puppies and help you
Man.
get them out there, So
Angel, I'd like to get with you about talk some equipment, man. I'm curious what kind of equipment you use. We can do it later, but I'm about to buy a PG machine and I've been kind of bouncing around a few different options, man, kind of trying to make my mind up about
I'm
what
sure we got time, don't we? We
what I,
got time.
Yes.
No,
And that was
absolutely.
actually a
I mean,
question
yeah.
earlier.
Yes,
So let's
we
dive into
absolutely
it.
can, and we'll make
Yes.
time for that.
So-
Yeah, and we actually did have somebody in the comments asking what PG
Yes.
machine you used. So that's perfect.
I recommend me. This is just me, and no offense to nobody, cause yes, I use the Wanful. I use the
I just
Wanful, bro.
I didn't want to hog the show for my needs. You know what I'm saying?
No, but this
No,
will
hey,
be
this
for
is good
No,
content.
nobody
everybody.
already asked it,
This will
Michael. You're
be
in the
for
clear. You're safe
everybody.
this time.
Yes.
Reason
Okay.
reason why I like the Wanful, it's so easy to use, bro.
What
It's really,
Yeah.
really easy to use. You
Wanfo.
don't have to calibrate this machine. Okay.
What's
Uh,
the name of it, Angel?
Wanful, Fine Care, WONDFO. If I don't know if you guys are familiar with Carlos Font. If you guys get up with Carlos Font, I know he's a distributor for Wanful. He can help you out with machines that he has helped out my buddies out before.
I'm gonna get you to
So
send me his info and stuff.
I will. I will.
Yeah.
So
Hey, Carlos Font. Carlos Font for everyone in the comments.
this Wanful machine, you buy boxes of 10 test strips, okay? And this test strips, it comes with a chip. As a matter of fact, I just got a box today. It comes with a chip, okay? That chip number matches the Wanful strip number. Matter of fact, look, I'll show you guys so we can run through it.
Yeah.
Give y'all an actual.
He was literally doing a PG test when he came on the live. This is
I
how
was
far
gonna
this
say
guy
he
goes.
like he canned over to it too, and I was like, oh, there it
So
is.
yeah, we were working on him. So I saw a comment as well that said, "What would I breed on?" That female, I don't know if y'all can see it. It says 25.9.
Yeah.
Okay,
Bro,
those are the
let me
numbers.
find out. Let me find out you got a B unit sticker on your PG machine, man.
So your box will come. You got two different boxes. Okay, you'll have one that is whole blood, and then you'll
Yeah.
have one that is serum.
Yep.
The whole blood, what I love about the whole blood, that it eliminates the process of spinning it. So you'll pull the blood from the female, and then you drop it
Yes.
in the centrifuge and spin it, separate the plasma from the blood. Then you get the plasma and mix it with a serum that they mail you with, that the box will come with, I'm sorry. And then
Yeah.
you mix that, you go ahead and put it on the little the little shaker, and then you go ahead and drop it in one of the test strips and enter it in there. But you see, this is what I love about the machine, bro. So this is the chip it comes with, okay?
Yeah.
All you do, enter that chip, read ID chip, read successful, yes, done.
Look at this setup. Look at this setup.
Oh.
The spin down, the microscope, the
So,
PG test,
Mhm.
the strips. Look how
uh,
clean, organized. Man.
and you can't forget my little snake too. Yeah,
I
I
don't do
got a
no
snake.
snakes. I don't do snakes. I was gonna leave
But
that one out.
so I got a centrifuge for semen. So whenever because people do ship semen to me, I've gotten Big Papa semen. I've gotten they brought in K2 semen. Who else, bro? Big Boss. Uh, they've people always. Some people will be like, bro, I want you to take care of my breeding. No problem. So
He's got
they'll ship
shipping
it.
kits underneath his table.
Yeah.
Literally. You are
Um.
set up for success. Go to B units, Houston,
So
Texas.
we'll spin. We'll spin the semen. First I test it. Well, I'll get a look of it under the microscope when I warm it up to body temperature. Then I'll go ahead and spin it for 10 to 15 minutes. And then I'll remove some of the prosthetic fluid. And then once I'm down to 3 cc's, I'll pull the rest of the semen out. And then I'll go ahead and then I'll go ahead and put it back under the microscope, make sure it's moving. And then I'll go ahead and shoot the AI. But yeah, so I would go with a Wanful only because it's super easy, bro. Like it ain't rocket science. It's really, really easy, and it's been very accurate. Um, it comes with a chart. Hold on. It'll come with a
Yeah.
chart and it'll start off with the surge, and then it'll start off, and then it'll jump into ovulation, and then it'll give you numbers for egg maturation, and then it'll give you numbers for fertilization, and then it'll give you numbers for surgical. So, me personally, I like to wait until a female is fertile. It ain't no sense. a perfect good example. Today, I was going back and forth. I did 4 PG tests on this female. She started at a 6, and then 2 days later jumped up to a 9, and then 2 days later came back down to a 6, and then 2 days later jumped up to a 17. Okay. The problem with that is, and it's not a problem, it's just the fact that they're ovulating and
Yeah.
the eggs are maturing, and it's. I like
Hormones are a hell of a
fertilization,
drug.
bro. I love it when a female's fertile. That's when I hit. I've my females, mine, 1 AI. I don't like having 2 to 3,
Have to do the most of
63
it.
days.
What do you like to hit them at? 15 to 20?
I wait a little bit higher, 20s. My females, 20s. To bro, I've even been blessed to produce 6 puppies off of 37.
Off an AI.
Off of an AI. 1 AI.
But
You
what is
see,
your prime numbers? You try to get in at like early 20s?
I like to start at 25, 4.
An AI? What do you do surgicals at? What's the number that you're like, okay, surgical?
You see, people are gonna hate me for this, but oh well.
Oh, no, he does.
I think surgicals. I don't like surgicals, G. I don't
All
like
right,
the
what if
fact
semen shipped in, though? What if semen shipped in?
I ain't missed with shipped semen with my regular AIs.
I like it.
Wrong.
Don't cut if you don't got to cut, huh?
Wrong. I missed one time. I've missed one time on a breeding, but other than that, I've hit before. You know, and shipped semen. So, and then she was at a 36,
Wow.
and I ended up hitting. So it's just how you perform your AIs. Okay.
What do you use for AI?
The part for the female, I use a 12-inch straws on our AIs.
Okay, so you don't use any form of, like, we have, like, an artificial, let me show it to you. I don't want to call it.
It's a silicone one?
Huh? It looks like a little dildo.
It's a silicone one. I got that too.
Yeah.
It comes in a Chinese box?
Yeah.
Yeah, I got that. I got it.
Man.
So, okay.
But you use the tubes instead?
I use straws. Yes, I use straws. Only because, man, we were talking, me and my buddy Marvin were talking about this the other day. He does repo stuff as well and all the other stuff here in Houston. And we were having a conversation about it. And the way we're about to get, huh? What? Can you go tell your mom? She want blueberries. And
Got good taste. Good.
You got to get those antioxidants, bro.
she loves
I'm telling you, man.
Well, so we're about to get into detail. So when you go into the vulva, okay, because I go ahead and use, like I said, the straws. When you come in, obviously a female vulva will, the female's part will come up and then it goes in, right?
Yep.
So when you go in and turn your hand around, you can feel it. A little small entry, like a hole into the next entrance. It's an entrance to the next level where you need to get through.
Yeah.
Okay. So once you get in there, obviously you want to try to get it as close as you can to the cervix.
Yeah.
So when you get your fingertip to that hole to the next section, that's when you come with the other hand and feed that straw in through that hole, right?
Correct. Then it stops. It'll stop and it'll have a hard time.
Like it'll hit the back.
Yeah.
No,
top?
not yet. Not yet.
What do you mean it stops?
It gets like a little rough. Then you got to play with it. Come in and out a little bit, and then you'll feel it go thunk. You'll feel it where it jumps in and it breaks into. So what I learned was the canal run. Well, the part of the female runs up and then comes straight up, and then the cervix shoots up into the horns because the horns come up. Obviously, they're not straight back. It'll come up.
Yeah.
So when you come in,
goes in and then back and then up.
well, it goes in and then all the way in into the wall, and it has like a little pouch right here, and then it goes up. You feel what I'm saying? So what I'll
love
do
this
is
illustration. I love the illustration, Angel.
I'll draw it. Watch, check it. I'll draw it for y'all on my board.
That's
Watch. I'm gonna
Put it
show
on the
y'all.
whiteboard, man. Stop fucking
I'm gonna use
around.
my whiteboard. I got
I
you.
love it. But no, these are questions that so many people have that are
Mhm.
watching or going to watch, because doing an AI for the first time is very, very uneasy. You've never, like, the dog's human anatomy is a lot like the female's human anatomy, but you don't understand it until you really dissect it to try to inseminate.
Well,
So
it's not just that too, bro. It's also like these dogs aren't cheap, and these heats come twice a year, and it's like even if I know somebody is good at what they do, I'm still a nervous wreck because I'm trying to
That's why you
take
need to
advantage
learn
of
how to do it
these small
yourself, like
windows of
Angel's talking
opportunity.
about. Like, I love that. If
Yeah.
you can understand how to do it, like in-house,
That's a big,
because Michael, I
big
understand what you're
deal.
saying. I would much rather I trust myself
Yeah,
more than I'm going
100%.
to trust my neighbor to do what I need to do,
you
or
know,
someone that,
and it's not.
like, so.
I'm the type of person that is not so much that I'd rather trust myself. It's more the fact that if something goes wrong, I could blame it on myself. I don't have to say, bro, I'll blame it on me, and I'll take full responsibility because I did it. So I've always been a hands-on, always been a hands-on. So don't laugh at my illustration, please. You ready? Okay.
I'm done.
I'm looking forward to this.
Manda already laughing and I ain't even turned the camera around.
There's no
I'm laughing
promise.
at her, bro.
This
I'm
group,
laughing at
we are
her.
probably going to
All
laugh.
right. So
Actually, I like this.
this is where you start off at, right? So you'll
Mhm.
obviously
You're muted, bro. You're muted, Angel. You're muted, bro. Start over.
Someone keeps calling him.
So, you're muted. You're still
Normally,
muted.
that's your problem, Caleb.
Amanda, this is not a
That or
me and you.
Wi-Fi, your Walmart Wi-Fi. It's one of the two. I never really know. Angel, sweetheart, we can't hear you.
There should be a button to unmute, Angel. He's working on it.
Yeah. Ah.
Hey, Angel, you might have to get out and get back in if it's not
Yeah,
letting
you
allow
may.
you to.
I've had to get out and get back in before.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
some
think,
good
yeah,
info.
I
I
was
want to
happy
hear
to with
this.
you. Oh, no, absolutely. And we need to figure out TCI versus AI, because AI can also involve surgical. So I'm assuming
Yes,
TCI.
AI,
yeah.
TCI, surgical. That's the 3 different steps that you can do, and then
Yeah.
natural, of course.
The
Yeah.
TCI is the transcervical, right?
Yes,
So,
it's pretty
and
much a
that's
surgical without
and
like
that's why I
cutting.
wanna pick his brain a little bit about these numbers that he said, because you're doing transcervical once the numbers get to a certain point because the cervix is closed, right? So that's why you were surprised to hear how he was able to do it at those numbers. But if you can do
Angel,
it,
you're
you
still
can do it.
muted.
He
He
went
said,
back
"Man,
out.
forget this." And Adam, forget you. Adam knew I cut my hair because I was talking to him as I was cutting my hair, so he wants to put a smart ass comment.
Hey, I'm cleaned up, bro. I'm ready to go.
Oh yeah, and someone said earlier that Amanda, you are the outcast tonight because there's 3 bald men. And
Good.
someone said I need to grow a beard, and I don't know if y'all didn't see.
And I'm definitely not
Oh
doing
yeah,
that either. So
you
y'all are.
coming? Look at there.
I just cleaned it up. It's cleaned up.
You
It's cleaned
coming
up.
on in, or are you coming for me or what?
Oh yeah, no, I'm actually coming for the ABKC judge that has that beautiful beard, and
all
that
right,
was a
there
shot at you,
we go.
Michael.
Damn it.
That's
Which judge?
better.
From which registry you say?
All right.
Michael, I love you, man.
God damn it.
So this is where we would start and come in, right? And
Right.
then that's the first little hole. Okay. Once you feel that, you're gonna try to get the straw in through there. And then once you get past there, it'll start getting stuck again around this area. Once it still got this much to go in. Because you
Yeah.
can feel it where it wants to try to go in, but it can't squeeze in. You
Yeah,
see, if you ever seen it in a TCI, you could tell where it got a lot of knots and
yeah,
whatnot,
I like
ropes,
that.
you know? So you got to force the straw in there carefully, of course, by playing with it back and forth, and then it'll go in. Once it goes in, you'll hit there. That's where you were talking about, Bubba. Once you
Yeah.
hit there, you want to pull back a little bit because this is where it
Yeah.
goes into the horns and then the cervix and whatnot. And then the eggs are actually up here.
Up
So
up
like
there
that,
by the ovaries. Yeah.
correct. So you want to try to get as close as you can. And most
How far
people,
back, Angel, from when you bump that back wall? How far do you pull back? Because I
not
know
a
I know you got a place where you see with your hand like how far you pull back. Is it like an inch? Is it a
less,
half inch?
less,
Quarter inch?
maybe a fourth of an inch because it ain't too. This bubble is bigger here on my picture.
Yeah.
It ain't that big when
Yeah. So maybe like the length of the tip of your finger, like your pinky
about
nail.
it
Your
ain't
pink
much. Once you feel it hit that wall, you come back, and then I'll use
like a fingernail's length, right?
yeah about. Let me
Yeah.
see. Hold on. All right. So I use 12-inch straws. Most of these females will take, unless you're doing with a
Do
Frenchie.
you use
But
do you use different size straws for like pockets and XLs and standards and things? No?
no, I use the 12 inches. I'll show you right now. So it's this one right here.
Yeah.
And then it goes all the way in, bro. It'll go about that far. You'll see it that only that much will stick out, and then you come back some, just a little. If it bumps, if it don't bump, as long as you make it past that second lump, you in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It'll
if
get
you
the job
make it
done.
past the rough spot, you're in there. Yeah.
You're in there. And then I come back, my semen, I'll put it in a 20 ml syringe. So obviously you don't need 20 mLs. You don't need more than 3 cc's of
There
semen.
we go.
If when you take a sample under the microscope, okay, to see the semen, and they give you a count and a motility, they'll tell you a million bajillion swimmers at 98 motility. You know what I mean? They did not put, I can guarantee you, because I don't ever put more than a teardrop. One teardrop is what they put on that slide.
Yeah.
You know,
Small sample.
so
Yeah.
3 cc's, bro, of semen is more than enough. Anything after that, it's gonna come out. It has to come out. Not everything can go to work. So I'll use 20 ml syringes for the reason being that 3 of those
Air
are
behind
the
it.
actual semen, and the rest of it I can use it to flush it in.
Damn
Like
right.
that, nothing
Yes,
stays in the
sir.
straw. I'll pick it up, hit it, and it'll go straight in. You
So
know?
you pull so with the 20 syringe, we said 20 cc. Then you pull like 17 with like what, saline or something?
Air,
Air.
air.
And then you take the last 3 with the semen.
Well, it's
And then
the
yes,
first
and
three
then
with the semen that are going to
yes,
go
the
in,
first
and
three
then air
Oh, and then
cc's
behind
of
add the
it
air
to
semen.
push
behind
it
it.
through.
Push it through, and it works. And I got the same one you got as well. That dildo one. I got that one too.
My name is Caleb. Don't you dare call me Carl, by the
I,
way.
I
My
was
name
I
is
was
Caleb.
really close to that. Yeah, sorry, Caleb. Really
Yeah,
close
There
to.
we go.
there goes.
So you
Angel.
I
but you
was.
you prefer the straws though, Angel?
I really prefer. I like AIs. I like straws.
Yeah.
Again, I've been really successful with it. When you know what you're doing, it's less uncomfortable for the female. They don't fight it as much, you
There we
know.
go.
At least when I
What
do them,
what
I don't know what other
position do you put the dog in for her to be the most comfortable?
on her 4 feet.
Yeah, but I mean, do you lay her down and stand her up?
She should be standing there very comfortable. If something's off with her, something's off with the AI. You're in the
I
wrong
don't.
position.
And picking up the dog from the rear and keeping her up like I don't do none of that, bro. I ain't never seen a dog lock up with a female and then get off of her and tell her, "Hey, baby, let me pick you up real quick." I that's just me, bro. You know,
Angel,
I
Angel,
don't.
how many kids you got?
I got
Hey,
7 kids, bro.
Oh,
I
hey,
well,
got
wow.
7
I
kids.
wasn't expecting that. But did you ever
hey.
pick up a
Well, we
female
got
and
we
put it on
got
her
Never,
head
6, but
after?
He doesn't have
never.
motility problems, apparently.
Never in my life.
Well, well, here's the thing, because inside of there, you're not really dealing with gravity.
Oh
Gravity
man.
is not the issue there. So Adam Fields is saying something about a TCI. I wanted to ask you about that too. Do you ever do that? Do you have the equipment
I,
for that?
I don't offer TCIs.
Because you don't need it.
I, I've never had the issue to need it because I can feel. Even my wife, because some females want to sit down because they get nervous, so they'll want to sit
Hmm.
down, and I'll tell my wife, babe, can you pick her up
Yeah.
for me, please? And she'll put her hands underneath her belly, and my wife will even tell me, oh, damn, babe, I felt where the straw went all the way in, like I could feel
Yeah,
it
be
where it
careful.
goes through, you know. So, and it's not that you feel the straw, but you feel the vibrations of where
Yeah.
it's breaking that skin going in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, and
But
Angel, like you can all right, can you tell when a female's all the way in heat? Like they're more open, they're more accepting, they're more receiving to what you're actually giving them.
first things first, I'll go ahead and scratch where the tail meets the back or the butt, wherever you want to consider
See
it,
if they're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
flag.
to see if she's flagging.
Mhm.
If she is flagging, then I'll proceed with, because I love to check and make sure that females are not pulling. I have to. It's just something that like that. If something goes wrong, I know which boxes I checked, and I
Yeah.
know what order of sequence could have been wrong. Now, was she pulling at the time? Was she retaining blood? No, because I drained her. You know what I'm
How
saying?
do you
So
do that?
Thank you,
a
Michael. Good
reverse,
question. Good
a,
question.
a reverse AI. So I'll go ahead and enter the straw, the same exact way, put it all the way in, and then suction. I'll come back and put the 20 ml syringe and suction it out as much as I can, and it'll be hard. It'll want to go back in because there's no air in there, so it'll want to
Right.
go back in. When I'm ready at a stage, when I'm at a level where I can actually start receiving the blood that is good enough where it will come, I'll start pulling the straw out slowly.
Mm.
And then the blood would just, I've pulled out over 30 cc's of a female one time, 30 cc's of blood. And
Wow.
she gave,
Yes.
she gave him, if I'm not mistaken, I think it was 7 puppies. So
So do you check for blood and pull the dog every time just to make sure?
Good
every
question.
time, every single time,
Yeah, that's
every
what.
time.
So if
It's,
I'm having an AI done, that's why I'm asking. If I'm having an AI done, I wish I was closer to Houston. We wouldn't even be worried about it. But I'm just a couple months away from getting this done, and it's my first time. So
Good
you know,
questions.
a lot of people know me in the community for my education on these dogs, but I'm still very new in the breeding world. This will be my first litter on the ground, and so I could teach a class on most things to do with our breeds,
Adam said he's
but when it
moving to Texas, Angel. Find him a house.
yeah,
come
I'm,
with
I'm
Find
it.
him a
yeah, I'm
house
moving in
and a
Come
next
on
door,
mama.
with
so
it.
just get
I
ready.
take care of you.
Hey, I'm moving right next door. Don't even worry. But look, the
Let's
the
get
thing.
ourselves a
And
compound, just a
I'm
whole
from Texas.
compound.
Let's go. I'm with
Let's
you. I'm
go.
with you.
I was born there.
So the thing about it is, like, there's most things in this world that I'm very educated about, but when it comes to this, I don't have any hands-on experience on this part of it. So I'm very nervous, very excited, and so my questions, if I'm having this done by somebody, I need to make sure they're pooling for
I,
sure.
like I said,
Of
I
course.
like to do it so I can offer an ease of mind and like that. Especially with females, I'll ask them, "Hey, has she been bleeding?" Well, she was a couple of days ago, but well, then let's check if she's pulling. Because if she ain't been bleeding in the last 2, 3 days, there has to be some type of blood in there.
Well, I'm
There has to
All
I'm
be.
right.
gonna
So
tell you what's
Angel,
weird
Angel.
about go ahead, Caleb.
All right. So I was probably asking the same question you did. You beautiful bald-headed bastard, you. But someone was asking in the comments, pulling blood. What exactly do you mean by that? I have an idea of it. I've never done that. You're talking
So
about a reverse AI. Let's go
It's
into a little more detail
it's
on that. How to pull the blood
You're
before you insert the semen.
you're drawing out the blood that's just floating
Michael,
around inside the
this
female.
question is for Angel.
Pooling,
This question
like
is
So,
for Angel.
pooling. Yeah.
so
For Angel,
it's
Amanda.
not that it's floating around, but inside the female, it converts it makes pockets, and those pockets get filled up with blood, and that's what causes it not to come out. They're sealed pockets until you break the seal. Once you break the entry and make an actual space for it to start coming out, it will start coming out. So what I do,
Mhm.
I'll stick the AI straw, and then again, I'll pull. I'll add the syringe and pull the syringe out some. Now, if you tried sucking a syringe in something that doesn't have air, it's gonna want to suck back in, right? So
Yeah.
I'll hold it there, and then I'll start coming out. Once, for instance, like that female that said that we pulled 30 cc's of blood out of her, I removed the syringe and got me because it wouldn't stop, bro. I had to put my finger on it and hold on. They filled up one of the 20 mLs, and I told my wife, babe,
Yeah,
this is not stopping. Like it's
Mhm.
coming. So we got a water bottle and it was just leaking out on its own. It had already converted the pressure for it to start coming out and
Yeah,
draining
the
on its own.
backflow's taking place at this point.
Right.
Correct.
Yeah.
So once we were done with it and no blood, I'll pull out the straw. I don't see no more blood coming. I'll start pulling out the straw slowly, still with the suction, and making sure that there ain't no other pockets. Okay. Then after that, we'll empty the syringe. Say for instance, if she only had 3 cc's of blood or 6 cc's of blood or 1 cc of blood, I'll go ahead and push it all the way up. I won't empty it out because that thing smells, bro. It smells so horrible. Okay, you ever been fishing and there's a dead fish on the side of the bay and you can smell it? That, bro, it is horrible. So
Yeah.
I don't try to flush it out just quick as possible. I'll go ahead and come back and then retract again and double check. Make sure we ain't missed nothing. And so far, I don't have a visual of it, you know. I can't tell you, oh yes, I could see where it's emptying out, but the results of the success has given me the privilege to say it is being, how should I put it, successful, and females are
So
getting
you so
pregnant.
when you do the suction and you pull the straw back and you double check, there's no blood in there, then you go with a new straw and take the semen in.
Everything new,
Yeah,
everything new.
but you take the semen in that's right after.
Right after,
All right.
Yeah.
So what you were
but
saying too, let's go back to that because I love that. But when you're inserting the semen, you scratch the butt area to make sure she's flagging. And then how do you go from there? And when do you know she's receiving and when do you know she stopped?
so with my numbers, with the PG test, um, like I said, I'll check if she's flagging first. For instance, because I got other methods as well. I can't. It's
That's a pretty easy method though, because
But but well, see what
she'll
I look
squat,
at
right?
is the butthole. The butthole is pulsating when the female's receiving, and the
when
male's butthole is pulsating when he's ejaculating.
so when you have your finger inside the female,
Yeah.
you can
Yes.
feel where she's
Clamping down on it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Right.
want to
Exactly.
Yeah.
ripping the glove off my
But
finger, bro. Some of them,
when you rub and she's flagging, it'll jump though,
it,
right?
it,
Yes.
she'll start pulsing. She'll start pulsing, but
It's essentially it's like stimulating. It's external
correct,
stimulation, right?
correct. She'll start stimulating, correct.
Mhm.
And once you're in there, you can feel it, bro. You'll feel it when that female is grabbing onto your finger and doing what her body is supposed to do.
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
Yes, Adam. I am looking at the butthole because the butthole
So
pulsates. Like
am I.
you can
So
tell
am
on
I,
a
Adam.
male and a
So am
female. Yeah, Adam.
Dude,
But
if
yes,
anybody just hops into this live and has no idea we're talking about dogs, I apologize in
Hey,
advance. We're talking about
we're
dogs.
going live
Nobody's
on the
family.
live, baby.
yes, but
This
We're
is
no,
going
that
stupid.
live
that's
on the
the
That's
live.
thing.
bull
But
talk.
we're talking
There's
about
nothing
and I don't
inappropriate
AI.
even
happening
mind,
here.
bro. I want everybody to be aware. Hey, some people, again, I'll tell people, hey, I'll teach you. No problem. I'll teach you so you can do your own
Yes.
AI. It's okay, bro. I just rather you know what you're doing. I'd rather come to you. I'll teach you, bro. Ain't no problem. I'll tell you where to get.
Well,
I'll show you. I get all
you
my
won't
stuff
have
off of
me.
Amazon. All
You
my
won't
stuff.
have me reject that opportunity. If I ever get the chance, if I ever get, I would love to learn all that I can because I do intend to do my own here.
Exactly.
Uh,
And every
I have
breeder should know how to do their own AI.
100%,
That's just a tidbit that
100%.
I think.
I
You want
can't
to know
wait
the
to
funny
have all
part,
the
bro?
equipment on the table the same way that you just showed us there. I can't wait to have my whole little lab set up and and all that. But I have a question about my female in particularly. So she's had 3 heats now, and I chose. She was old enough on her third, but I chose to wait because I felt like she was still acting like a puppy too much. She was 18 months, right on the dot, but she was still acting like a puppy. And I said, you know what? I don't think she's ready. We weren't ready, so we're waiting to the fourth. But every one of her heats, she's bled for like 3 weeks. She bleeds for a long time.
And
And
Yeah.
you notice
and I,
that when she starts bleeding, it's a dark maroon color.
yeah,
And then after like if it's a normal heat cycle, because you have split heats, then you have silent heats, and then you
yeah.
have regular heats.
She look,
So
she gets super fat for 2 to 4 days. Then she starts bleeding. Then she bleeds for like 3 weeks.
so
But
after
the blood changes color after.
that's where I was gonna get to.
Yeah.
So do you know why it changes color?
No, I don't.
So the reason why it starts to change color is because she's ovulating, and the mucus of the ovulation is starting to dilute the blood. So when you want to breed, you are looking for the diluted blood, and that's when I actually advise to start your PG testing.
Now, how do you know when it's diluted? It's just a lighter color.
Good
Yes,
question.
Lighter color.
correct.
Yeah.
It's a lighter
Yeah.
color. It'll start
It's not
diluting.
so dark burgundy. It's more red.
It'll start turning into a pinkish, lightish red color.
When it's
Yeah.
ovulating, when
So
it's time to
It's
start doing PG tests and
so
starting to think
eh,
about the breeding.
towards
Okay.
the end of all the bleeding, do you ever notice any kind of like mucus?
towards the end of the bleeding.
I've
Uh,
had like not every time, but I've had like it's almost like a mucus almost. I
like
don't know what.
clear,
Maybe yeah. I think it's clear when at first, but
and then it'll get like a milky.
yeah, kind of yeah.
It's her hormones and all
Discharge and stuff. Yeah,
all that good
It's
stuff.
probably just run of the mill
but I don't
discharge. I mean,
pay
that's
attention to that. I just pay attention to the color of the
Now,
blood that's with it. Right?
now something, yeah, correct. You want the change of the color.
How
Now,
far
after you breed,
How far into that normally? Like if she's bleeding 3 weeks, like it's how far in? It's not a certain time. It's by the changing of the color. So it could be a week. It could be
i- if it's a normal heat, anywhere between 7 to 14 days,
after
you'll start seeing the change.
after she starts bleeding, right? Yeah.
That's when
You know what's
you notice
crazy
the
is
change.
I do I noticed a change in the color.
And then even after you do the AI, once you perform, there's three things I look for. That this is just me. Again, you don't have to quote me on it. You don't have to take me up for it. But this is what I look for. One, uh, the first thing is vulva. Is it still swollen? Has it gone back to normal? Is it gone? Because it'll usually suck up and stick in, and then it'll have like a little triangle sticking out. If it's still swollen, not as swollen to where she was in heat, but it is swollen from the abnormal. Uh, that to me, she took to me. Then a week after, a couple of days after, you will notice a milky discharge. To me, that means she took. Then 2 weeks after, you will start noticing a tint, a faint change in her gums. It'll start getting a whitish, pinkish color. Nipples will start coloring. I mean, changing color. So the part with the gums, um, mean the way I see it that it works and how I've been explained my whole entire life, and this is from back in the '90s with my aunt. Um, there's puppies in her, and they're sucking the nutrients and the vitamins and all the stuff out of her. So
It's
it's starting
basically
to change the blood
dehydrated.
flow in the gums.
Yeah, it's
So
almost like dehydration, almost.
somewhat,
Similar. The gums are similar color as when they're dehydrated.
but it's more of the fact that the puppies are starting to absorb what they need from mama. So what that mean? That means she's pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
You know. So those are the
is this? At what point is this? 4 weeks?
so around 2 to 3 weeks.
2 to 3
2
weeks.
to 3
Okay.
weeks, yeah.
But
Because
you
then we
say
offer ultrasound at day 35.
so a little bit of discharge a couple of days after the
A
AI
week.
is
A week
good.
after the AI.
You get some
Ma-
discharge.
A week after
Okay.
the
I love
AI.
it. This is such good info.
And
Yeah.
it's totally different because you actually have there's another reason why you could get discharge as well, and this is every breeder's nightmare, bro. Pyometra. Pyometra show when it's open pyometra, you will start noticing a discharge as well. But that discharge starts coming in from what I've noticed in my experience after week 4. Week 3, week
Okay,
4,
so a
you'll
little bit
start
later.
noticing that discharge. The discharge I'm referring to, the discharge I'm looking for, is a week after the breeding. That's the one I'm looking for. Pyometra's horrible, bro. I
Oh,
hate pyometra.
Adam's correcting me. What he's saying here, not pale gums, but notice a color difference. Pale gums is when they're dehydrated. This is just a color change in the gums.
All right. So real
Yeah.
quick, Angel, Palmitra, explain that. A lot of
So,
good info being passed. Palmitra, explain it real quick.
so you got two sorts of pyometra, okay? And again, I'm no veterinarian. I'm just going based off my experience,
Mhm.
and maybe people will disagree and some will agree, but this is just my personal experience with my dogs. Because the reason why I got into it and why we dug into pyometras because we experienced it, and you got two kinds, okay? You got open pyometra, you got closed pyometra. Open pyometra, mom will leak out the fluids, which is the pus and all this gooey, bloody stuff that is just horrible. Closed, it stays inside. You have to go get surgery, drain it out, and then on top of that, once you do that, they're probably more than likely gonna spay your dog. So
But this only happens after insemination, right? It's
way
not.
after
It's not.
Like
A
a
dog
month
can't
after.
get it unless it's been inseminated. Is what I'm
What
saying.
exactly is Palmitra,
it
though?
is a bacteria that goes into mom's area and makes its way up to the horns and likes to attack the sacs in mom. That's what it does.
So,
So it comes
so if the dog, if what I was asking to
pregnant.
go with that, if a dog is just going through a heat cycle and has not been inseminated or bred, she can't get pyometra, right?
I'm not gonna say she can't get pyometra because I haven't experienced it, but the ones I have experienced are the ones that have been pregnant.
Yeah.
They have been
Okay,
pregnant. Okay.
and
Okay.
I've only had two females that get pyometra, and both of them looked pregnant, and then all of a sudden they got really sick. They got really sick. So now what I do, I before I breed my females, and I offer this to the clients as well. If they want it, I could give it to them. Cause I have immune boosters. Um, I'll go ahead and give them antibiotics,
Yeah.
injectable, either penicillin or my favorite. I like Baytril. I don't have to give huge amount of Baytril. I don't have to give for a long time.
Yeah.
Baytril is really strong, and it works pretty quick. So, and then on top of that, I hit them with B12s and all types of other vitamins before I breed them so they can be healthy, especially females that are pulling. When females that are pulling, those are the ones that I offer the most. Um, I don't want that blood to become into an infection or the bacteria, and it'll lead to that
So
pyometra. At least I
you
believe
give
so.
them. So you give them B12.
I give them a lot. I actually, so my medicine is Mexican. It's protoprocessol, procesol. That is an immune booster. If it's a blue liquid, it goes. How do you say it underneath the skin? Sub what?
Subcutaneous.
Subcutaneous and what's it called?
Look at the head of hair on that baby.
Yeah, see,
You
they're my
ain't
fluffy.
lying, man. Hey,
And
cut it off and let's divide it amongst the three of
oh,
us.
don't worry though. Don't worry. Look at that, bro. The whole front is missing on her. So yeah, she get that from her daddy. But I
Oh,
go ahead and give them the immune boosters. Then on top of that, I give them catosal, which is liver guard, B12, and an appetite booster. Then I'll go ahead and load them up with the Baytro. And it's just, it ain't much. It's just a little, because again, Baytro's pretty strong.
Mhm.
It usually helps out my females. I like to give it to my girls. I don't, I'm not risking it, bro. And this is the funny part. I've I've been dealing with American bullies for 8 years, and I've only had 1, 2, 3 litters. And that's it. I don't I don't do this to breed that often. I love my dogs, and I rather wait till the moment is right. And Pyramid just scared me, bro.
Angel.
They
It's no
Uh,
joke. It is absolutely no joke.
A-
Yeah, and
Amanda,
females can
hush.
get it
Amanda,
from their regular heats. Hmm?
Amanda, you hush your mouth. Angel, I got a question. So to help prevent,
Don't
Amanda,
you
I meant
take
that.
that,
I meant that,
Amanda.
by the way. To help prevent palmate, you
You'll get
cleanse your
it.
female out, and you actually inject this into your females before you do the breeding.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah, I take
good
care of them
info.
myself. I take care of them all myself, and then you could get all this stuff at your local feed store, bro. Your local feed store sells it for their ranch livestock. They
Yeah.
have medication for cattle, and it's used for. You could see it on the boxes. It'll have cats, dogs, roosters, ducks. It'll have all the animals that you could
Nuts.
probably have at ranch. So I I,
Good
I
stuff.
just again, powder meat just scared me, bro. I
Yeah.
almost lost my female to it, and which was Bane's daughter, Bethany. That one, I Deadpool's mom. I love Deadpool's mama. That was my baby girl. And Paramitra, yeah, it got her early stages.
So
Mm.
open and closed. Open.
They'll leak.
Explain that a little further.
So
Are you able to
open,
still
they'll
breed
leak.
open, like
You,
closed a little further? Like let's explain that.
so obviously it happens after you
Yeah.
breed. So it'll be anywhere between, again, from my experience, 3 to 4 weeks, and then you'll get that. So open paramitra, you'll start noticing, because again, I keep my dogs in drop crates, and we put wee wee pads in the bottom. Wee wee pads are white, so you'll, bro, puddles of
Yeah.
puss and blood and just all over it, bro. Closed, they won't leak.
Yeah, it stays in that,
It's,
and that I feel yeah, that's way more dangerous because I think
Because
that obviously just
all of that
perpetuates
blood
the
and leakage is
infection.
staying inside the female. So
So
they're
do
gonna have
you
to
have
drain.
Mhm.
They're
any
gonna have
other
to spade the
symptoms
female.
that you look for on the dog besides just the blood? Like, do they act different? Are
they
they
lose they lose appetite. They'll start not wanting to do nothing.
Yeah,
They'll
with
run
our
a fever. You'll start noticing snot on the nose. They'll get sick. Not snot, but their nose will get wet
fluid?
a
Yeah,
lot. Yeah,
fluid. Yeah.
and
It's almost like they have so much fluid in their body that it's got to come out somewhere. You
yeah,
know.
and again they'll get a fever, and it's, bro. We've had where we can't even save the female, bro. We got to go ahead and spay her because
See, I freaked out because on my female Freya on her second heat, she had her first one and she bled for so long, and everybody's saying like, "Well, that's a long time, 3 weeks." Like, golly, and it wasn't 3 weeks to the day; it was closer to 4. I mean, she bled a long time, and they're like, "Oh, it's the first heat; it's kind of weird." Blah blah blah. Then the second heat, she bled a long time too, almost just as long, and I was like, "Oh my god!" And then there was like some. It almost looked a little pussy, but it was just a little bit like, and then she's an in-house dog, so she had the diaper on, and there'd be just a little bit of the mucusy, like pussy look,
yeah.
and then she'd been bleeding for like 3 weeks already. and there was that little bit of like pussy me, and I was like, oh my god, I just freaked out, you know. And
Yeah.
so I kept her in the crate. I kept the diaper off of her because I thought maybe the diaper was hindering her. Although I was taking it off of her a couple times a day and letting her clean herself for an hour or so, you know, and make sure she could take care of herself. But I freaked out a little bit, but it never got worse, and it was only just that little bit, and it was towards the end of the bleeding, and the blood was really dark then, but it was almost done, I guess.
You know, I had a client that came to me with a Frenchie. This dog bled and was not ready to be bred, bro, after 31 days.
Wow.
A whole month of bleeding, and then finally her number spiked. And once they spiked, I think we were able to produce 6 puppies, and this was a Frenchie. So,
It's big for 50. Yeah, it's a big litter.
you know, that's why I like this Wamful machine, bro, because it will not lie to you. This Wamful machine, it'll tell you when she's ready.
Yeah.
It'll give you exact numbers when she's ready, when she's fertile,
Right.
actually. You know, a lot of people like to hit the females when they're ovulating. Uh, I don't, because I've seen females ovulate for, again, 2 weeks, you know, and then they wonder why they don't take,
Because
you know.
Yeah.
So,
it's
Everything's still
flushing it
technically in
out. It's
motion.
continuing to flush it out, right?
Yeah.
so
Yeah. Everything's still kind of in motion at that point. So, Sean had a question earlier. Now that we're talking about the equipment that you're using, he does ask, how do you sterilize your equipment after each use?
for sterilize, like my stuff,
Yeah, how do you
chlorhexidine.
sterilize all your equipment, like in between uses? How do you sterilize everything?
Want to
What do
start?
you? How do you? What's the
Want to
process?
start off with, for AIs? Everything is new. Everything sealed. Everything is new.
There we go.
New
Got it.
syringes, new straws, new gloves. If I'm, say for instance, I'm conducting an AI, because sometimes, bro, sometimes we get about 3, 4 people here at the house, you know, and a line. So I'll get to pulling blood on one female, and then I'm about to do an AI, put gloves on because I gotta go in up on her, and then I gotta do another AI and another female. I'll swap gloves out. I'll take all my stuff out and get new stuff. Now,
There we go.
my area, we live by chlorhexidine, that blue liquid.
Okay.
That's what we go ahead and dilute it. 1/4 chlorhexidine of my water bottle and 3/4 water, hot, warm water, and then we go ahead and spray everything down, wipe it down, sterile everything
I
up. But
love
I love it,
chlorhexidine,
bro.
man.
It works good for my dogs. It even it helps out with when you get ear crops, and to clean them up. We use chlorhexidine to clean dogs up with their ear crops.
So
So
chlorhexidine is what they put on before surgery,
correct.
and it will kill anything living on the surface. Anything.
Correct. It's really good. They say if you got a skin infection or something, my wife
Mites, hot spots.
religiously,
Yeah.
my wife lives by that religiously.
Oh yeah.
So puppies, when you're whelping, that you need to clean them up, go ahead and wipe them down. You know, obviously at an older age, but our equipment, mom C-sections, when we were whelping, we don't whelp anymore, but we used to whelp as well. Um, yeah, we got
But
our hands full now,
but to
so.
but to add to kind of get a little more clarity into the question that Amanda asked. So each one of those pieces of equipment that you have, the stuff that goes into that equipment is sealed and brand new and all that. So the equipment itself doesn't even get anything on it.
Nope.
So you don't have to clean the
Nope.
equipment because
So
it's all in sealed individual stuff that goes in it. So there's nothing getting on the
So
equipment.
The
it's
only
all
thing I like to,
unsealed, brand new when you
Yeah.
use it.
the
Yeah.
only thing I have to clean, that I like to clean regularly, is my microscope, because it's when I go ahead and I put the slide, and then I put the other little slide over the semen, some does come to the side and fall down. So I'll clean that up. But other than that, none of my stuff gets dirty. Everything,
Yeah.
Yeah.
everything is brand new. Everything is pre-packaged. Everything is sealed
And
from the syringes to the
and
straws.
yeah, and nothing gets on the equipment really except for the
Yeah. Hey,
microscope.
Angel, I got a question. Males, I've heard to start pulling them 12 to 14 months and pulling them monthly. How do you feel about that? And what do you do with your studs once they get of age to start reproducing?
So what I do, we don't start studying out, or we don't start working our dogs until they're a year old.
Yeah.
Okay, hey man. So, but I've had clients want to check their dogs at 10 months, and they are fertile. Okay, they do good. They do got swimmers.
Yeah,
To be honest, to be honest,
yeah, they can do it.
they do have swimmers, but we don't. So I've dealt with a urethral prolapse. That's how you say it. A little bit. Is it urethral prolapse, right? The male. So I have dealt with a urethral prolapse. I think, am I saying that right? Penis prolapse,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think Michael
Urethra.
dealt with
Yeah.
the same thing, but that was personal. That was a personal issue.
Yeah. Yeah. No. 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 No.
So um,
No. Not actually. No.
so to
I love you,
I
man.
have noticed and I've seen when my females come into heat and my boys are ready to be studded, and to keep them from going through that, because again, like I told you guys, and again, this is just me.
Yeah.
I don't want no one to be like, oh, this is just my experience. I like to reflect dogs to men. I mean to humans, okay? So when a male gets excited, and I'm speaking of male as in us,
Yeah.
and no action goes into play. Hey, you feel what I'm saying?
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
So it's hard.
I'm
It's
sure they
hard.
are.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
sure these
Unfortunately, I
children
do.
feel what
Unfortunately,
you
I
say.
do. I've been
Yeah.
there.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I believe it goes the same thing with
Yeah.
the dogs.
Yeah.
And I think it's worse on them because their smelling senses are a lot worse than ours. They can smell that
I
female
agree.
2, 3 houses down, bro.
2, 3
You feel what I'm saying?
miles.
You feel
That's
what I'm saying?
crazy.
Yeah. So that means that they're getting excited and they're getting hard. All this blood is rushing through their private,
Yeah.
and it
Mhm.
happens to be that one of their, I think their blood vessel, the way it works is their blood vessel on the outer inside of it erupts, and it causes a bubble on the tip. And as the blood flow keeps going, the bubble keeps getting bigger to the point where it can't withhold the skin anymore, and it ruptures, and then you get the blood everywhere. Okay. Every time the dog starts getting excited, blood starts going everywhere, right? So to avoid that, I like to pull my studs.
Mhm.
I'll go ahead and I'll pull them when my females are in heat, even if I'm not going to use them. Even if they're not being used, I'll
How
pull them.
often and at what age?
Me, I start at a year old and at 12
Once a
months,
month.
11 months, 12 months. And how often? Every time when a female come in heat, you, especially the ones I'm not
When
working
a female's in heat, how often do you do it? Just the
one,
once?
one time.
Yeah. Okay.
Or because they know when she's ready.
Yeah,
They know.
they
And
do.
that's when my boys are, they start going crazy,
That's
bro.
when you
So
do it.
that's when I do it.
Crying, they're not
When
breathing.
she's flagging and they're going nuts. Yeah.
Man,
Yeah. I
that's
got you.
such good
So
practice, though. That's such good
Yeah.
practice, and more breeders need to
Yeah.
listen to this because
it,
when your male is of age to reproduce, pulling from him once a month or once, a heat cycle, like when he gets to that point, is very, very good for his health and for his reproductive as well.
Mhm.
exactly. Say for instance, people want to use them, and boys shooting blanks because it's his first time, because they will shoot blanks. They will. I don't care what anybody says. They will shoot blanks the first couple of times. So you get the practice in it, and you won't have that problem. You know, I think me personally, these people coming over here to use your stud and homeboy shooting blanks, we got
You
problems, G.
you should know what your stud's doing before you stud them out.
Correct. Correct.
You should
So,
know
yes,
those swimmers are swimming before you send them out.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Why would
Yeah,
man?
check the temperature.
Imagine sending dead swimmers out off a stud that you've been studying out for the first time before you have ever saw the semen. You have a microscope
Yeah.
right there, and that's what I love about your program. Before you do an AI, you're evaluating to make sure the semen is alive before you're shooting it into a female.
Yeah.
Why shoot dead semen into a female that's ready to produce?
Right.
Hey, and I've had to tell clients, I'm sorry, but there's no point. Get your
Yeah.
money back or
That's a
something.
tough conversation to have, but you're just the messenger of the service that you're providing.
Now,
So
when you're
do
shipping,
you have? Go ahead.
when you're shipping, bro, it's really important that you're mixing, unless the semen. You see, I like to use a semen semen extender that we get off of Amazon. Again, I get look at that noggin. That boy got a head on him.
I love that.
What,
dog.
Michael? He does. He's got a top
Yeah.
skull like a.
So I like to use an extender that we get from again Amazon. I get everything from Amazon.
Yeah.
So the extender we use, it's a 4-to-1 ratio. Okay.
Okay.
So if you send 3 cc's of semen, then the expected amount of extender is 12 cc's. Okay. You want to make it prolonged. That's what it's called, extender. It's not just something you throw in there for show. Oh yeah, put
Right.
some in there.
That's sort of
And
perfect. Yeah.
I've seen semen where it could be better. You know, they're moving, but it could be better, and it could just be the simple fact that the ratio is not perfectly mixed in. You know, and this extender, it gives you instructions on exactly how to mix it and what to mix it and how not to mix it, you know. And the one we used, I remember one time Crystal shipped semen to Washington, D.C., and the veterinarian told him, "Hey, bro, what vet did you get this from?" Like, no vet. And I still got the paper for it. It was that we shipped it overnight, and I think it was like at 98 point something, 98 something motility. So he said, "Bro, this thing is jumping, you know, like where?" And it's just the fact that she went ahead and mixed the 4-to-1 ratio. It prolongs the life in the semen, bro. It will help. And then you got other semen extender that actually has antibiotics and vitamins and all this other good stuff for the female that you can actually flush in there as well. That one's a little bit more expensive.
Angel, how long does semen stay alive if properly chilled without extender?
I've tried without extender, leaving it overnight in my fridge because Mercedes lives a little bit far away from me. So I tried pulling. I got that day, like I think I pulled like 6 to 8 cc's off of Deadpool, and I did
Yeah.
the first AI, and then I put the rest without extender in the fridge. And the next day, when he came and I tested the semen, I said, "Sorry, Bubba, you're gonna have to come on later on. I gotta go get this dog," because it wasn't moving, you know. So we, me personally, I haven't had success overnight without extender.
What about with the extender? How long you have? 3 days?
Depends. You got 3-day extender, you got 5-day extender, and then you got 10-day extender.
Yes.
So
have you tried all
and
3 of them to test them, and which one would you prefer?
I like the 10-day extender.
Yeah, why not go 10? Give me all the time I can get.
Sorry. Right.
I like 10.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
like 10-day extender. It's $60 on Amazon. Anybody can order it.
How,
It's
so
so
what
easy.
kind of
Amazon has
shipping
everything.
boxes do you use for
Huh?
semen?
Really good.
What kind of shipping boxes do you use for semen?
Hold on.
Bruce Lang said his vet said just a few hours is how long it'll stay alive without extender.
So I like to use the K9 Express.
I've heard that's all. I've heard what I've heard, and I can't testify by experience, but just what I've asked because I've been inquiring. If it's not K9 Express, it ain't right.
And I'm gonna show you why.
They say the way that they're lined
So
and insulated.
inside the box,
Look at
it comes this styrofoam ice box type deal. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then you pop that open, and then that's a little dirty, but oh well. Well, this part here, you put the ice pack on top of it,
Yep.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Underneath it, in these foams, you stick your uh, tubes in there,
yeah.
your vials. Sorry, not tubes, your vials with the semen, and it go ahead and holds in there, bro, to where it ain't coming out. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
Okay, and then you put the cover back
So
on.
it
And
comes
where's
with a mini cover.
the ice pack comes with it too?
Ice pack comes with it as well. I got those in the fridge.
Yes.
In the freezer. So you put that in there. Ice pack goes in there. Once you take this out, what I like about it, bro, is that it makes an actual complete good seal.
Yes.
So you could tape it around, and I'm gonna explain to you guys why. Even when you tape it around evenly, not even the defrost of the ice pack will come out. Why am I worried about the ice pack? Bro, I had a horrible situation where
Mm.
I wanted to help again save money, and I went and got me one of those little boxes, Breeder's Edge. I can't remember what the name of it was, and all it was had walls of styrofoam. Okay,
That's
and
it.
then the stuff goes in there, and the pack goes in there. Well, the ice pack defrosted, and it started leaking out, and FedEx didn't want to touch it because they knew it was semen in there, so it was wet, and they didn't want to touch it, and it sat there. And it was a breeding with Deadpool, and I feel horrible about it because I was trying to save them a couple of bucks for the ship because they go ahead and charge you for the weight and the size of the box. So I was trying to get it smaller to where it would, yeah, no. Never again. Never again. I'm sticking with this. They didn't want to touch it. The breeding didn't happen. And it was just a horrible experience. So never again. I go with
I've
K9.
heard I've
Yeah,
heard
it's-
everybody I've talked to that said they used anything but K9 Express, they were disappointed. They had problems. So
Yes. Hey, Angel, I'm gonna answer your question too. So Adam asked a question, he talking about what about the bottom? How does it stay cold? If an ice pack touches semen directly, it's going to shock that semen and it is going to kill that semen. That semen is no longer good. So properly packaging it and properly putting it in ice packs, the ice packs in the freezer and things like that, that that cold off the ice pack is going to keep that semen cold enough during transport to make sure it stays the temperature it needs to before it gets there. Now it needs to get there during that time. That's why you overnight the semen. But if the ice pack directly touches that semen, it's going to shock the semen. It's going to send the semen into shock, and that semen is going to die immediately. So with the proper packaging, proper handling, the semen is going to stay cold through the overnight process, going to get there, and the semen motility is still going to be high enough to where you need it to be. And that's why they tested on that recipient as well.
It works like like for instance a Yeti cup or something, bro. It
Yeah.
isolates the freshness in there. It don't freeze it, but it keeps it refrigerated to where it won't shock it, like you said. And then once it gets to where they get, multiple people have different ways of waking the semen up. I like to put it on my belt line. I'll go ahead and put it in like my short and hold it in between right against my hip with my boxer. And
Yeah.
I'll start my timer for 15 minutes
The
and
warm
then I'll let it warm it up.
Our
And
temperature.
then I'll put it under the microscope before we do anything. So
Angel, you better hope that seal is tight because if that semen gets on you,
no, well, So most of these people, what they do, they'll let me show you. Hold on.
I said, man, that would be a terrible day. That would be a terrible day. Put it in your
On so
boxer
many
briefs,
ways.
the semen starts spilling out.
So
Imagine the explanations you'd
have
have
you
to
have you
give.
experienced this, Caleb? You ever experienced anything
Three
like this
times.
before?
Three times I have. 3 times.
So
My God.
this is what the semen travels in these
Yes.
vials.
Yes.
Okay. So to go ahead and secure it, obviously it's a twist cap. Okay. When we ship, a lot of people use other type of methods, but when we ship, I like electrical tape. Okay. So to go ahead and secure it like that, it won't spill on me or open up on me while it's being transported or even when I'm handling it. I just go ahead and seal the top and make sure ain't nothing gonna be able to make it spin off
I like that.
and
And
have that
electrical
access.
tape, some of the best tape ever. Packaging
And
tape,
then there
forget
you
it.
go.
Electrical
It,
tape is
it,
where it's at.
it ain't going nowhere,
Yeah.
bro. That ain't it ain't opening
Do you
up. You
put the
know.
ratio on where it actually gives you the access to, so they know?
So you do that when you
Yeah.
ship it or when you receive
When I
it?
ship it,
What
I'll
about
go ahead and do this.
when you get it and you're fixing
They
to
they
spin it?
they use a lot of people use tape as well, but some people use medical tape. Some people use. I've even seen like bro, I can't. I don't know what it is, but it looks like it was melted and just dripped on,
Wax?
and it makes it's like wax type deal, you know, and it's
Huh.
sealed.
Well, if for some reason it's not sealed, do you seal it before you spin it?
Nah, not before I spin it. No,
Okay.
it
Okay.
usually always comes sealed though.
Yeah.
I've never ran against. I never came across someone who hadn't sealed it. But
So
the, these vials are up to 14 mLs, Caleb. So I'll put 3 cc's of semen and then run up to 12 cc's of extender,
I
and
like
then
that.
we'll
Okay.
call it a day.
Do you
You
put that
know.
on? Do you actually put that on that though to show the ratio of each valve of semen?
Come back again. You were cutting off.
So on each valve, it actually gives you an access to put the ratio of semen to extender. Do you put that on each valve to explain to the person that's actually receiving the semen?
If I'm sending 2 vials, you're getting to, 15 cc's of fluid. Sorry.
Okay.
You're getting 15 cc's. Sorry,
Yeah.
we fill it all the way up to the
Yeah.
up
Yeah.
to here. That way we
Yeah.
fill it all up.
And then it gives you the point on the actual valve to actually put
Yes,
the
yes, correct.
ratio.
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
so
So we'll
what do
drop.
you do? You mark where it's filled with semen. You mark it and then fill it the rest of the way and mark it,
No,
or does it have it on it?
it comes marked.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, that's
Comes
useful.
marked.
So on the white part of that though, do you put like 3/12, depending on cc's of semen to
No,
cc's
because
of extender?
no, because most of these breeders are just like me, and they'll ask me over the phone
So,
already. Hey, bro,
so
what extender are you
you're gonna
using?
say it anyways.
You know. So, what I have noticed is some breeders on this white part, they'll put Big Papa semen, K2 semen. You know, they will write it on there whose semen it is.
See,
But
Right.
I
Yeah.
dealt with Antonio
Everything it
McClenny,
said.
and he's so detailed that he will literally put exactly how much semen over exactly how much extender, and then he's gonna call me to explain it before he sends it. And then he's going to call me when it's on the way to explain it. And then he's going to call me when I'm receiving it to explain it. But, and that's not a jab. That's my mentor. Antonio McClenny,
No,
my
like
mentor.
that's who
Yes,
he
but
is.
like,
you
so a
know,
lot of people go into detail on that to show exactly how much semen to extender, because a lot of it's vet to vet transport too. So they want to know exactly semen on top, extender on bottom, what's the ratio, and they're going to spin it down as well. You
hey,
know, they're going to examine it, spin it
no,
down, and put it in.
It
No
would seem
lie,
like a
bro.
good thing to put a date on there too, like the
Yeah.
date I
I
put it
mean,
in there.
No lie, bro.
yeah, baby feel it.
Some of these vets don't like to give you that info, bro.
A lot of vets
I,
don't.
I
A lot of
I've
vets
tried,
don't.
and it's like, come on, man. We just trying to,
We're trying
make
to be accurate
sure
here. Yeah,
everything's
we're
good.
trying to cut down on the mystery of all this.
A lot of
Absolutely. Now,
vets don't like reproductive kennels programs. A lot of
No, they
vets
don't.
don't,
No, they don't.
especially depending on the breed.
American bullies
We've got to know
for
that going into it.
Caleb, did I hear you say that he was talking about collecting the males when the females are flagging and all that? On your camp, do y'all do it once a month anyway?
Most of the times our studs are used more, well enough where we're doing that.
yeah,
But yes, once they get of age, 12 to 14 months, we do like to pull them once a month to really to make sure they're pulling,
yeah,
make sure the semen is of what it needs to be before we're going to send it off. Like, why wait for that surprise? Why wait till the first breeding and you're charging someone 1,500 intro, 2,000 intro? You pull from the first time and you send dead semen. What does that look like to you? Like, that's not our program. That's the first time person that's looking for $1. Pull
yeah.
from your stud, examine the semen before you send it to someone for the first time and get that, oh shit.
yeah.
You need to do your homework. But yes,
Get the
once
OT
your dog's
before
of
you put the
age for the prostate, like it's actually healthy for the prostate of your dog, pull once a month.
Yeah. I do. And we had multiple females, so they'll go and come in and out of heat, and then we'll
Yeah,
just go ahead and pull the boys. And I haven't had that problem with Bane, because Bane still to this day, every once in a while, he'll get used. Um, but like my new stud, I got a big papa son that I co-own with Jay uh, out in Nebraska.
hmm
And he's here, and I'll pull him whenever the females come into heat, just to go ahead and make sure to avoid any possibilities of prolapse. Well, the prolapse and pyometra, bro. Parvo, I try my best to stay away from those situations, and
yeah.
I'll do whatever
The
is
killer
needed.
peas, man. The killer peas.
I
Stay
hate
away
them, bro.
from
I hate them, bro. Yeah, I believe they're every breeder's fucking nightmare, bro. I hate them, bro. And it happens to some of us. It's gonna happen. But if you learn the proper steps and how to take care of it, you should be all right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Hey, Angel. So we've been on almost 3 hours now, man, and we still have many, many viewers that are watching in, many, many viewers that are going to watch in.
Wow.
And people have stayed on tonight, like literally watching you. And a lot of people have given you a lot of praise in the comments. And you've answered this numerous times, but I want to know what your response is on this direct question.
Yes.
We do this live for new breeders that are afraid to ask those questions, afraid of how to get started, to jumpstart the program, things like that. Newer breeders, newer handlers, whatever you want to say, like coming into the game, what advice would you give them?
For breeders, don't try to start with a stud. Try to start with a good, solid foundation female.
Damn right.
You know, and try to create consistency off of her. Go grab you a female off a bloodline that you like, that is bringing in the geno and the phenotype of that bloodline, and run with it. Okay, and you try to create. uh, I don't like to say vision because I don't have a vision. I like to believe my motto is, this is not a vision, this is the version. Uh, I like the original American Bully. Why have a vision? There's already a version for it.
There we go.
So
There's a
stick
standard. There's a
stick
I
standard.
like
stick
I
to
like
it. And
that.
yes,
I like that.
it is hard to stick to the standard. And it's a lot easier to sit there and say, well, I did this because this is my vision of it. No, homeboy, you did it because you couldn't stick to the version.
There we
So,
go. There we go.
but, but it is hard, but don't you think that behind hard work comes that joy, that integrity, that you know
Absolutely.
that I did it, you know? And
Yeah.
another another advice would be, don't listen to people's opinions of limitations about you, because 9 times out of 10 they're telling you their limitations, not
There
yours.
we
Wow.
go. There we go.
So don't ever think you can't do it, because you can do it. And times will be tough and they will be hard, uh, but if you continue focus and on the right track, and get good mentors and get people to show you the ropes, really show you the ropes, not just interested of what's in your pocket or in your wallet, okay, you will get further. Now, another thing, the truth hurts and so do lies, so pick your pain.
Oh, what you say? I love that.
You
Yeah.
feel what I'm saying? So sometimes a lot of people like to confuse truth with hate. And it's not that I'm trying to hate on you or hate on what you got going on, but I'm trying to tell you what's right for you so you can be successful. You know, I wish I had people tell me this a long time ago. Instead, they would sit there and laugh at me, you know,
Be the
and lie to
person you
me.
wish you had when you were looking for somebody.
Is the
Right.
person I am now.
Yeah, I
and,
love
and
it.
a lot of people say I come off too blunt and too hostile, but homie, the truth
You're in the
hurts,
wrong game,
and
man.
so do lies, bro. You
Yeah, you
know,
yeah, you can't be sensitive when you're dealing. I mean, these are dogs, these are lives, these are generations. Like you can't take constructive criticism. This is not what you need to be doing.
it's what you're doing it for. You're doing it to seek constructive criticism.
Mhm.
If not, why would you go to a show? So what are
Thank
you
Right.
getting judged
you.
for?
Thank you. You're asking your dog to be judged, but you're getting butthurt when your dog is judged.
Sure.
Or
Yeah.
CG,
you are judged.
I, I've
Exactly.
I've lost more than what I've won. And people only see the wins because obviously that's what I post, you know. But I've lost more than what I've won. But you'll
Yeah.
never, ever see me come on this app and cry about, oh, this was going on and why didn't you? Ain't no need for that. I'll see you on the next one, Bubba. You
You
know,
can't,
that's it.
hey, Angela, you can't wave that vial of the semen vial so aggressively. Caleb gets nervous.
I get excited.
He
I
gets
get excited.
excited.
There's a difference. There is a
I'll tell you
difference.
what, Angela, I always take the time to try to talk to you at shows as much as I can. But you know, we're at the shows. We got a lot of moving parts, a lot of things going
I
on.
stay in and
It
out
was a
of that
pleasure.
ring, bro.
It was a pleasure, my brother, to finally have the time to have a long overdue conversation with you in length,
I
and
appreciate it, man.
be
It
able to.
was truly an honor and a privilege. And when I got invited a couple of weeks ago, bro, I was telling my wife, I said, babe, I'm about to be on this live with these people, babe. Holy,
I'm
it
so
is.
glad I was here tonight and able to do this with you too, man. It was a great live. You did great. Uh, Tons of knowledge and information for people,
Yes.
man. There'll be a lot of people rewatching and
Yes.
Yes.
learning. You taught me a lot tonight. Uh, Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
we
again,
definitely
thank
can
y'all
fix
for
it.
having me.
Now I got a
Thank
Angel.
short-term
you.
memory that ain't worth shit, so I will be messaging you, and you'll have to text me the name of the equipment because I'll remember tonight, and then next week I won't.
I got
So
you.
I
Tomorrow
put
he
those
will not.
links in the comments, Michael.
tomorrow's better, right?
But Angel,
Yeah.
real quick, before we get off here, first of all, Michael has not fallen asleep tonight. He always does.
I heard
So
that the
this
other
was a
night.
good live. Also, before we get off here, one more time before we get off here, how do people get a hold of you? Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Name your sites, name your programs. Let's really promote you before you get off
So
here, man.
on Facebook, you can get me by Angel Chavero, and that's Angel, and last name Chavero. And then on Instagram, I hardly use Instagram. So, but my phone does alert me when messages come in, so I'll respond to it. But it's B_unit_camp. Um, if you message me and you want to talk, I'll be more than happy to give you my number. You know, I got no problem with it. The whole city got my number right now, so uh, we talk dogs. This is what I do. This is what I do. But again, on Facebook, it's Angel Chavero, and then on Instagram, it's B_unit_camp.
All right. And Angel, one last thing before we get off. You are an inspiration. You are a motivating factor for so many people, and you don't even realize that. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep with the daily post. Keep with the daily motivation. Man, I love it. You're one of the programs I love to watch. You and Mercedes bond is like this. I love watching y'all, man. And I mean that from very, very heartfelt.
Thank you,
Angel,
brother.
you are moving so many more people than you realize, man. Keep doing it.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that, for real, for real.
I mean
That's
that,
crazy,
man.
bro. It means a lot to me. It means a lot.
Yeah.
It
Yeah,
really
it's cool, man.
do mean a lot, and I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody, you know, and I'm here for you. You know, I'm here for everybody. If 1,000 viewers are on there, I'm here for each and every 1,000 person
I
that's seen this video.
guarantee by tomorrow afternoon, there will be 1,500 plus viewers that have watched this live. That is a fact.
Yep.
That is a fact.
Yep, appreciate that. I hope
Oh yeah,
everyone
it's
picked
it's
up
already
some.
been, I mean, it's
Again,
been shared 12 times already alone, and for every time it's been shared from their profile, it's, I mean, man, you've impacted people in person on here. It's just like, man, I'm excited to see where you go, man. I like,
You got
I'm
three
excited
fans in
to
us,
see.
and I'm going to talk for all three of us. Amanda, I'm going to talk for her because she doesn't know from her right from her left, and Michael, I'm going to talk for him because he's my boy.
Yeah, I've been a fan of yours, dog. I've been a fan of yours, G, for a long time, man. I've seen you work. You were at some of the first shows I went to, and so I've got to see you grow in the last couple years, and I really like what you do, man. And you know, like Caleb said, man, you're an inspiration to a lot of people, man, especially those of us that come from the struggle. Hey,
it can't
shout
be
out, shout
done.
out to,
It can't be
yeah,
done. It
it
can't be
can
done.
be done.
Can't be
That's
done.
right.
I love it. I
Yep.
love that, man.
Yep. Well, look, dude, it's been great, y'all. I've like they said, hey, I don't always stay awake. You should be honored because I
He
usually
has
got one of
literally
these.
started
I
snoring.
got one of
He's
these in
literally
me.
started snoring during a live.
And what's crazy is I might fall asleep, but I'm still excited to be there. I only got so
Just an
much in
excited
a
look.
day, man. In a day's time, I only got so much, and then I'm gone. That's it. Yeah.
Angel,
Well,
it's
all
been a
righty,
pleasure,
guys.
man.
Thank you.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate
brother.
it, Caleb, Mike,
Thank you, Jen.
Amanda.
Yep, I'll hit you up,
All
brother.
righty,
All
y'all
right.
have
Good night,
a good
y'all.
All
one.
right,
God
y'all take
bless
care.
you. Good
Amanda,
night.
real quick.
Night, everybody.